to the airport early, that's too early. And so it's that or sit, put a belly up to a bar or something. Like I got to do something that isn't going straight to the airport.
I'll probably get there.
So I haven't figured it out just yet.
4:15 or so. I got to run home. I got to pick the dog up, drop her off at my dog off at my parents' house. And then I got to make a pit stop on the way to the airport. We're doing the circuit contest. I got to stop at Bink's house and hopefully I make it to the airport on time. I have to pick up cash from Bink. If you want to know the truth, for our Survivor
you got a
entry.
whole extra stop.
Yeah, and so Big's been texting me. He knows that I don't have a ton of time. I have to grab the money and go. That's all I can do.
No time for long chats.
No time for Chiefs discussion this time.
All right, fair enough. No, it's just different. Someone says Cody likes to make sure his clothes are extra wrinkled. First off, places provide an iron for a reason. I also often travel with a steamer. So yeah, I do. Well, because by the way, I don't happen to think 12 hours in the suitcase is making the difference of whether or not they're wrinkled or not. And so, I like to make sure it's doing there. Someone says with TSA pre-check, all you need to do is 30 minutes before your boarding time.
Pre-check's great.
I'll just tell you right now, I could have a private escort from the front of the airport directly to my boarding, and I wouldn't get there 30 minutes before my boarding time. Not a chance. I would still get there earlier than that, even if security said we will personally escort you from your car directly to the gate. I'm not getting there that close. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable and anxious. And for personal comfort reasons, I don't know why you would cause yourself that anxiety. I'm not doing it. But I also won't get there 3 hours early, so it's a mixed bag.
Yeah, people are saying I should make Bink bring the cash to the station. That's a whole other story. He was supposed to bring it Monday, but I'm not making him drive all the way to the station. And I technically am kind of on the way to his spot. So we'll get that figured out. We'll talk more about Vegas tomorrow, obviously, on the show. Circa Survivor, Circa Millions contest. Also, some things that we are considering doing while in Vegas that we will need your suggestion on, including there's a concert on Thursday night, and we're up in the air on whether or not we're actually going to go. So we'll talk about that tomorrow on the show. But let's start with the Chiefs, though, because they did make a trade last night, and I feel like this is just a depth type of trade, but maybe there's more to it. The Chiefs are trading a 2028 seventh-round pick. You probably saw this to the Giants in exchange for a guard, Josh Izudu, from the Giants. He missed last year on the IR. He, to me, is just a depth signing. He played in 33 games with the Giants. I think this says more about how they feel behind Trey Smith and behind Kingsley and behind the rest of this starting unit, and they don't feel as confident in who they have further down the depth chart. I don't think this is, hey, they're worried that Trey Smith's not ready. I think it's, hey, if Trey Smith were to get hurt again, hey, how do we feel about Benson being the backup guard? Do we need Benson to be our true backup right tackle instead? Or whatever happens with Josh Simmons back in week 1? Is he back by then? Where we need to move some pieces around? I don't think this says anything about that they need Trey Smith, somebody to fill in for Trey Smith week 1 or Josh Simmons week 1.
Look, it's much more interesting for sports radio if I make this a referendum on the starting 5. They think Simmons can't stay healthy or play. They think Trey Smith. They got to look at Khalil Benson, and they feel like they need some other options. They can't start Jalen Moore. It'd be more interesting if I made this trade of a 7th-round pick a referendum on it. I think we already knew the answer because, in my opinion, the second they made Khalil Benson also the backup right guard, they tipped their hand at how awful their offensive line depth was. Bad. Really bad. Admittedly bad, and something that has been regularly discussed on this show. That signing is about making sure that if there's a single injury in the offensive line, you're not just screwed. That's all it is. And I think the Chiefs have gotten a little too fast and loose, in my opinion, of making preseason and midseason trades using draft picks. I feel like they're getting a little too loose with it, is the truth, in the sense that they just cough up 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th-round picks like it's nothing for players that oftentimes do not matter to the end season as it sits. This one, even despite that comment, this one I still would have done.
2028 7th, I'm not going to freak out about that.
I'll just tell you right now, this one I still would have done. Because in the end, they do need offensive line depth. Benson needs to be the backup tackle. They needed somebody who could actually play guard in a pinch if that were the case. And it doesn't force you to play an undrafted free agent rookie immediately if at the sign of first injury. This guy's played left tackle. He's played guard. This feels like a no-brainer. And somebody's like, well, why not Caliendo? It says more about Caliendo and Norzad, which
I
is
agree.
100% I agree with on the text line. That's just the reality of the situation. is that it means a lot more there than it does anything else. I don't think that this is some story in this. Look, one of the stories of the Chiefs season will be whether or not they can stay healthy. Their depth everywhere is bad. Not every single roster spot, but it's close. I'd say they don't have much in the safety depth, especially because they're pretty much just going to run with three. All of a sudden be somebody else playing out of position. They don't have much defensive line depth at the moment because of the other injury stuff, although that's one of the deeper areas. None at offensive line. So, why not? Just making sure that you're secure there. I guess that's how I view the signing. I hope we never see the guy. Hope they give him the seventh and we never see him. Isn't that the best case scenario? Gold?
Of course.
Those five guys are just available?
That would mean your entire starting unit on the offensive line was healthy all year. That definitely is the plan. And I remember the injury stuff from yesterday, Cody. Trey Smith has been practicing for multiple days. So I actually think the hip is not a problem as it currently sits. And then Josh Simmons, you always get nervous when Andy says day to day, but Josh Simmons, your starting left tackle, still dealing with a back injury. I'll get nervous about Simmons' week 1 availability, if by next Friday he's not already starting to get in the groove, right? That heading into Labor Day weekend, which still will not be game week. Remember, the season starts a little later this year.
Yeah.
So they still have multiple weeks. But I would like to see Josh Simmons by next Friday. If he's not practicing, I'll start to get nervous about the back injury.
I think that's more than fair. That would be barreling a little too close. At least Trey Smith's out there stretching. Give me the he's practicing, but only kind of. The other part is, at no point, essentially, in this entire preseason, have the starting 5 offensive line, a position I have largely been told by former offensive linemen needs time to come together as a unit, has practiced together. The whole unit's never practiced together. Not with the 5 guys they're going in week 1. They have either been rotating between Benson and Jalen Moore. Obviously, Trey Smith has missed time. Creed's been available the entire run, so at least there's there. So is Kingsley. I think he maybe missed 1 practice, but now Simmons is gone. If they've practiced together, it was August 1st. They haven't practiced together in a while, and for a unit that is new at, I think still,
they have played with each other. They've all played football games with each other.
The 4 on the left side, or everybody but right tackle has, or Jalen Moore, I guess, did later in the season, but not as many games as you would have liked. Josh Simmons missed half the season last year, Gold. I still feel like that they could use some snaps together.
But that unit has multiple games together. It's not even Jalen Moore, if he's your week 1 right tackle, he played with that exact same offensive line at some point in his season last year, right? So
were the 5 of them ever together on the field at the same time?
Was Simmons out by the time?
Was he hurt by the time Moore came in there?
I have to go and look.
I'm not if they played games together, it's 3. Maybe I'm way off base here. They did not play that many games together, as a unit, as a starting 5. Because if you start going through it, it's by the time Simmons was gone, that's when Moore started to play. And then when Simmons came back, was the rest of the offensive line hurt enough that Moore was it was a mess. It was a mess on the offensive line for a huge chunk of last season because it was never a complete group. I'm not saying they've never played a single snap together, but they have not played that much together. I would have liked some preseason time, some training camp time.
Because Jalen Moore played 15 games last year. So there's no...
After he played 15.
Now, he only started 6, but he played in 15 games last year. So he had to have played... if he played in 15, he clearly played while Trey Smith was active at one point in time and Josh Simmons. Now, I don't know if they had... to your point, I don't know if all of them were in the field the same. But he played in 15, so it wouldn't have been Jalen Moore as the absence.
Yes, but I would just say, in general, I don't think they played that many snaps together as a full unit. Now, some of them did.
Trey Smith is the guy that suddenly you're more on injury watch than anybody else, even though he's healthy right now. He gets the contract last offseason, and then last year he ended up playing, 12 games for you. And then he had this hip injury during camp. It looks like it's okay right now. He's practicing again. He's the one, if anybody on the offensive line, actually, I'm a little more worried about their health right now, especially with the contract that I have attached to him. Josh Simmons is a big piece because he's the left tackle for the team, and it changes everything. But, based on what they just did, tackle is more important than guard. I think we all recognize that. However, the fact that they just waited to trade it for a guard, it tells you they don't feel good about the guard situation behind Trey Smith if he's actually out.
I just and for me, in the end, Trey Smith, but he's had 4 healthy seasons and 1 in which he was hurt this year. Josh Simmons, he got hurt last year and he had surgery, and it certainly would have cost him regular season games if it happened earlier, but part of the reason he missed a chunk of the season had nothing to do with injury, but he was one of those players that people were worried about the injury stuff coming into the league, and so I guess overall, I'm just concerned about it. Look, Jalen Moore played, I don't know, half the snaps, I think, as Creed and Kingsley, the two guys who were available for a huge chunk. I just am between Trey, Josh, and Jalen Moore's snaps outside of it. I'm just saying they haven't played as many as you'd like as a unit, especially because we want that starting five. I don't want to test the depth. Like, I don't want to find out how far it goes.
I guess I don't know. It's a bigger deal of Jalen Moore and Trey Smith and Kingsley and Josh Simmons and their familiarity than it is that Jalen Moore at right tackle. I'm not worried about his rapport with Josh Simmons on the complete other side of the offensive line. That it's more about Trey Smith and Jalen Moore and Kingsley and not Jawan Taylor and Josh Simmons. That part matters far more than whether or not Jalen Moore played while Kingsley, the opposite guard, was on the field. I don't think that matters as much. But yeah, last year it was a dislocated and fractured wrist for Josh Simmons. Then we also know he had the bizarre absence during the season. The good news is coming out of college, the injury, Cody, was the knee, and that has not been the problem.
Yeah, my sense again on Simmons is if he gets hurt this year, then he's an injury-prone player just because he's been hurt 3 years in a row. That tends to be my baseline of if you're injury-prone, is if you are injured, I don't even care if the injuries are related or unrelated. If you keep getting hurt, well, then your body doesn't like football, and, you got problems.
I agree with that. I guess I'm just saying that I'm way less concerned that he fractured his wrist, that if you would have told me the big question was the patellar tendon out of college, and then last year if you would have had a same issue, that would be way concerning.
I guess what's worrying is, I get that. It would be concerning if it's just the same injury constantly causing a problem. But it's not concerning to me that it was the knee, and then the wrist, and now the back. Your body.
I put the knee and the back in a completely different category. The back is very concerning. The fractured wrist happened because his arm got lodged in between, I think it was Kareem Hunt.
Unlucky.
It was but yes, to your point, back for offensive lineman, a back and a knee injury, those are the scariest things you're talking about when it comes to an offensive lineman.
I know the patella tendon obviously is nothing to joke about.
That's right. Drew told us last year, you don't joke about that. You don't joke about that, man.
Don't play with those patella tendons.
Was that around the draft?
Was that? And that must have been like March of 2025 or something when we were discussing injuries. You don't joke about that, man. You don't.
That's a serious injury.
It is. Yeah. It is a serious injury. He's not lying.
It was. It did not stop him from being available for the Chiefs all season.
That drop was from July 17th.
Of last year?
Last year, yes.
Wow, okay. Coming up in 15 minutes, thinking of the draft class, let's talk about the 2026 draft class and what it needs to be and look back at some Chiefs history. We'll do that in 15 minutes. But the Royals have won 9 in a row, their longest winning streak since 2017. In fact, the Royals are the first AL team since the 1989 White Sox to win 8 or more straight games after entering the streak at least 24 games below 500.
That team, by the way, the White Sox, were more than 24 games under 500 in July. So they were bad. They finished with 90-plus losses, by the way, that White Sox team. Look,
hottest team in baseball.
Nothing changes from my answer yesterday, although I will say and point out one statistic that's funny. Fangraphs, which does playoff odds for all their things, they went from 0.0% chance the Royals make the playoffs.
How was it 0.0?
It was 0.0. That's what they had at the statistical
likelihood. That doesn't make any
likelihood.
sense because statistically it can't be 0.0.
That's what they were at.
Okay.
0.0. Right. Guess what they're at now?
0.01? Okay.
Not 0.1 easy there. They get the point. They don't have to go to a second decimal.
How were they at 0. Legitimately, honestly, how were they 0.0? I don't think they make the playoffs, and I didn't 2 weeks ago. I don't do today.
Were 25 games under 500 in August. That's zero.
Fangraphs tells us we're all just dumb, and they're smarter than us.
Until you're eliminated, there's always a chance.
Thank you, Drew. That's what I'm saying. I don't think they're making the playoffs now or 4 weeks ago. I'm saying for a site that claims to be smart and we're all dumb, why is it 0.0, Cody, when mathematically they were still alive? It can't be 0.0.
Best guess is they're not operating it the way you're calculating it, and they're calculating on is every team who's ever been in this situation in Major League Baseball ever made the playoffs, and the answer was no. None of them ever have. Look, it's fun. The Royals are fun right now. They're fun to watch. It was fun to watch them win again last night. Unfortunately, it's making me – I don't want to do this because it's fun to watch them. It's making me mad. And you're like, why are you getting mad at the Royals? They're winning a lot. Because had they just gotten it together even just slightly sooner, which is something we mentioned to JJ yesterday, this 9-game winning streak would have meant they're a game out of a playoff spot. They are in a playoff spot. They're firmly in. Had they just not blown 5 games, and I can think of 5 easily off the top of my head of dear God, that was an implosion, not just a loss. Like a train off the rails into another train off the rails, smashing into a giant fireball kind of losses. And it's had you just not completely imploded 5 times, not save all the games that you lost, not imploded, you'd be in or near a playoff spot. So, like, it makes me a little angry that that's the case.
Well, yeah, I mean,
because they're going to still have to win 12 more in a row for this to be real.
Yeah, you know where I'm at on the August and September stuff. Of course, this is frustrating. It does tick me off because we've seen this time and time again in Royals history. Maybe not to this extent against their longest winning streak since 2017, but this, hey, we play our best baseball in August and September. Sounds great in theory if you're consistently a playoff team. You want to be playing great baseball late in the year, but it's the opposite. When there's no pressure and nobody's really paying attention and a lot of the city's on to football, that's when seemingly they figured some things out. That's annoying as a sports fan in Kansas City because we have seen that play time and time again. So yeah, Cody, I totally get what you mean by it. It ticks you off. That's been my thing for years when you and I have gone back and forth like next March. Now maybe next March is different because of the lockout, but normally in March you and I will talk about the team and you'll say, hey, they finished great in September and August, and I tell you I don't really care because they suck in April and May. We talk about, yes, it's the same amount of games, but based on Royals history, I would far rather them have a strong April and May than a strong September. Absolutely based on Royals history.
Yeah. That's more than, of course I would. Because somebody said, hey, I think they're playing over on Twitch. They're like, they're playing well. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
She's like, but I'm not sure it solves anything for next year. And it doesn't. It doesn't guarantee that you get inside of these things. It doesn't solve any of these things. It does genuinely make me a little frustrated. Like the late July game against the Twins when they gave up a walk-off grand slam. Or the one where they came back from like 6-0 only to take the lead, only to blow it. They had a go-ahead. Lucas Erceg alone probably responsible.
I mean, go back to the opening series of the
could...
season, Cody, when Carlos Estevez, the one time he pitched essentially, or 3 times he pitched this year against the Braves. That was the first Friday night of the season. He gave up the grand slam or whatever.
They lost a game in June, I remember, where Noah Cameron had given up 1 hit through 8 innings. They lost that game. And again, there are a million examples this year. It's like all you had to do was not throw away 5 this season, and this would be real. This 9-game winning streak, we could come on the show today and be like, I think the Royals are making the playoffs. I don't, obviously, but we could have come in and say that. Over on Twitch, by the way, someone said they went ahead and threw a prayer on it, mostly because the odds were different. Reed said on all the other books, it looked like they were like 40-1 just to make the playoffs. But over on FanDuel, they were 100-1. He's like, I'll take a shot at 100-1.
Cody, I don't know what you're talking about, how they had no chance. Technically, the Angels, who are 52-81, have a chance right now. They're not eliminated yet.
Maybe they like their schedule. I'm just telling you what percentage chance they put at they thought them making the playoffs.
I know.
I understand being technically eliminated versus this.
Until the fat lady sings, they have a chance.
Somebody said maybe it wasn't 0%, but they only carried it 2 decimals. So they had the Royals at a 0.000001% or whatever. And now eventually it's a number that registers on their 2-digit system on FanDuel. They didn't completely
This was crazy.
throw it away.
FanDuel will let you bet on the Royals to make the playoffs at 100-1, but they're not even on the board to miss the playoffs. It just gives you an idea of where we're at.
Well, I mean, what would it be?
Well, there
minus
is
10,000.
I mean, the Marlins are minus 10,000, so the Royals are saying are even worse odds to miss the playoffs. Like it's not bettable.
Oh man, they've got
the Marlins. The Marlins are minus 10,000 to miss the playoffs. For those that don't know how that works, $100 bet only wins you $1. It's a terrible bet.
Over on YouTube, Glenn says he still thinks Q is responsible for at least 5 of those losses. Says now he's leaving the starters in longer. I will say they are leaving the starters in longer. That is actually just statistically accurate. They have left Noah Cameron in longer. Lugan, like they are letting, but that's also because early. And I will say, I think Q messed some things up early in the season. I think he's done a nice job here as of late. April and May, he probably thought he had good bullpen arms. History suggested he did. That Estevez and Erceg and Strom, guys who had been pretty good.
Yeah, he was relying on them.
Up until this moment. I mean, everything suggested at that point he probably should be pitching those guys. Turns out they were awful and stunk, and they probably should have ejected a whole hell of a lot sooner on that whole thing. But at the time, April and May, it's I don't blame people for using their bullpen arms then. They technically were supposed to be using them in those situations. It's frustrating.
Yeah,
I was frustrated.
I've said over and over that I agree with you on this run that they're on and why it's frustrating. I've told you other than just the obvious, which is the bullpen being horrific, the thing that truly ticks me off the most about this entire season, and maybe it shouldn't, is just seeing how well guys performed in the WBC and the energy and some of the leadership aspect of that, and then to see them lay an egg for 2 months. That honestly kind of pissed me off.
That one frustrates me. I think I'm probably more mad at the idea that this is an absolutely grotesque year for the American League. It was a layup to get in the playoffs. I remember for a while, one of the edicts in the season was, hey, I don't really care how many games back the Royals are from the wild card. You'd say because you have to be an above 500 team to make the playoffs. This is one of the few years you might not have to be.
It might be right at 500 or one game under.
Yeah. You might not actually have to be even a 500 team. And all three of two of the wild card teams are going to be like 500 or slightly below or slightly above 500 teams. You only had to get 82 wins probably this year to lock in a playoff spot. You probably only had to get to 84 to win the Central. And you laid an egg. It's just frustrating because this was an easy year to make the postseason, and you had a lot of good team players, and you didn't do anything with it.
From the 913, I sincerely hope none of you are praising the Royals or even discussing the playoffs after our conversation yesterday about you naysayers. Oh, don't worry. None of us on this show think they're making the playoffs. Don't you worry.
If they just tuned in,
I don't know what you.
I don't know how that could be your takeaway from what we just said.
What?
I said I was annoyed. I said a 9-game winning streak has me more pissed off than happy because it feel like it could have meant something.
Yeah,
and at the moment it feels like it doesn't mean something, which is annoying.
One of the more annoying things though is that, and this goes for all fandom, this idea of well, if you're not still believing, you can't talk about them. That's what is this, like kindergarten? What are we doing? What a childish thing. You guys said you don't believe in them, then you shouldn't even talk about them. That's basically what the texters say. What are we doing?
Crazy.
What are we talking about? We can't acknowledge the winning streak while also saying they're not making the playoffs? I think both can be true.
They're almost as many games back in the division they are in the wild card. 8 games back in the wild card, 10.5 in the division. That's fine.
Stop.
Just beat the Tigers,
Stop.
Twins, Guardians, White Sox.
Stop.
I didn't know the actual standings. I had to go look it up. I will say this. If you actually think they're going to make the playoffs, they better sweep the Guardians this weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday better not come with any losses because that's the team that currently occupies the final wild card spot at 67 and 66. Oh, by the way, they've also won 6 in a row. So that, they're not making your life any. You haven't made up how much ground on them.
This year, we've partnered with KCUC, who's donating $50 to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for every home run the boys in blue hit this season. 1 in 8 men will face prostate cancer. Early detection saves lives. And at KCUC, Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team, you see the best in KC. Schedule today at kcuc.com. Up next, let's talk some Chiefs in terms of this 2026 draft class and where does it need to stack up in Chiefs history. And some rumors are out there about the university doing one thing down in the SEC and the head coach doing a completely different thing. That's next.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Man, I should not have tried to handle this car wreck stuff myself.
Why?
Insurance keeps calling. I gotta find a body shop, rental car, doctor's appointments. Now they're asking for a bunch of other things.
Dude, why are you trying to do this yourself?
Call the Car Crash Kings.
That's literally what they do. You worry about getting better. They deal with the insurance, the paperwork, the calls, all of it.
Hurt in a car wreck? Don't do it yourself. Call the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely from advertisements.
Telly Tire and Auto Center's biggest sale of the year is back. The tires at cost sale. That's right. You pay what we pay, plus mounting and balancing for only $30 per tire. Reserve yours at TELLEtire.com. Take care of your car. Take it to Telly. Additional charges apply for tire disposal and road hazard warranty.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/team. That's ziprecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ah. If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
This report is brought to you by Bet365. Winning is everything.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
All right, back here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. Text line always open, 913-586-7965. Cody's wearing a Kelly's Westport Inn hat today.
Yeah.
And we like Kelly's, right? We've done some stuff over there. You
have.
obviously have some family ties to Kelly's.
I do some charitable stuff with the owners over there.
You know, obviously a historic place here in Kansas City. I bring it up. You reminded me as I saw the hat again because we were in a group text yesterday with our buddy Joe. And he brought something up that I noticed, but I was like, I'm not going to bring it up. And then he texted.
You know me long enough, can't be that big of a surprise.
And then I wasn't going to bring it up at all again today until I just saw you were wearing the Kelly's hat.
Yeah.
So yesterday, your kid's first day of school, right?
Correct.
Okay, so that was exciting.
Missouri, they start late.
That is very late, it feels like. I've always, again, I think there's a reason for it, but if you're going...
It's Missouri State Fair and child labor related.
Because otherwise, I'm like, it's already August 26th. Just wait till after Labor Day. But I get it. Anyway, you're wearing the hat, and on Cody's Instagram, I think you posted a photo of your kids, obviously.
Classic first day of school photo.
You would.
People do.
And your son was wearing a Kelly's bar shirt.
Correct.
And Joe, our friend, said, I think the teachers might have a question about that. I'll ask you, did you hear anything, number one? And number two, does anybody think that was an issue or not?
So I let him choose his own outfit.
Yeah.
Said, do you want to choose your clothes? You want me to choose them for you? He said, I'll choose my clothes. I said, okay. And he came down. He's wearing his Kelly shirt. I'm like, fine. I will tell you. This is not the first time my kids have worn a Kelly shirt to school.
I believe that. Yeah, I believe that.
Maybe the first day of school's not the best time to wear the bar t-shirt. They sell them in kids' sizes. So, and it's nice and soft. It's a good shirt. Great shirt, even. Maybe I'm not supposed to send my kid in Kelly's Westport Inn shirts, but he chose it and I don't care. I guarantee there's probably at least one adult that's like, the hell? Is that kid wearing it? But they probably know us at this point. My daughter's in 5th grade, and she started there in kindergarten. Mm-hmm. So, like, by this time, it's like the principal knows us by name or whatever, or the teachers know who we are. So I can't be that shocked by it.
First parent-teacher conference conversation is going to be that right there.
Hey, so we're thinking maybe don't have your kid wear bar shirts.
Now, look, it wasn't there's a difference between a shirt from a bar, and Cody didn't have him dressed up in like a bunch of Coors Light, gear. There's a difference, right?
I think
there's a difference. I will give you that for sure.
That is a Kansas City institution. Yeah. I'm supporting local business, if anything.
I do think there is
by sending him in that shirt.
There is definitely a buffer between wearing a shirt of a bar when you're an elementary school student and wearing Coors Light or whatever your favorite drink is. Yeah.
I think it's, and look, my parents used to send me to, I'd be heading to baseball practice with my bat in that Marlboro duffel bag. So, let's not pretend
well,
times have
not a
changed.
school. That's not a school event anyway.
No, but I mean, should I still be showing up to a kid's event using a bag that they got from, Camel Bucks?
The only reason
probably not.
The only way that you would hear anything about it is if for whatever reason, when Desmond was at school, somebody asked what the shirt says, and he goes, "Oh, it's Kelly's," and then one of the other kids goes to their parents and say, "Hey, I want to go to Kelly's."
First off,
then it would be brought up to you.
Depending on the time of day, you as a kid can go to Kelly's. I will also point out that with my kids in particular,
Well, then
I
there
feel
shouldn't
like
be a problem then.
I get a pass on. You can't go at night. I'll give my kids a
Friday night, 10 o'clock. Yeah. Cody's trying to take his.
But if you want to get some Guy's Pizza or whatever, you can go there in 1 o'clock and get a slice. I would say it's uncommon. I'll also point out, Drew, that for the last 4 years in a row, my kids spend part of Christmas Day at Kelly's. It's closed to the public, but it's open
it's a family thing you guys do,
a family thing. My kids go to Kelly's on Christmas. So
now,
they're fine.
Maybe we'll save this for random question. Now I want to know what's the quote unquote craziest shirt, I guess, or either you or your kids have ever worn at school.
Had to be cigarette stuff when I was a kid,
so we'll save
alcohol.
that maybe for the random question because people are texting in a couple things like that. Someone made a great point. At least you didn't send your kid wearing Drew's Hooters outfit. That would have been a problem.
That's wild.
Although on your kid, the Hooters outfit might have been baggy and loose, and it wouldn't have been as problematic.
Yeah.
Probably
still not the best.
On
thing to send
Drew,
your
it
kid
was
in.
a little tight.
Just a little bit.
Size extra small, I think.
A little tight.
Or small, one of the two.
Anyway, we'll maybe we'll move that to random question or something. Let's talk about the 2026 draft class for the Chiefs a bit. And we all know they spent a ton of resources in the draft this year. They traded away Trent McDuffie to get an extra pick, and we all know Mansour Delane was 6th overall, Peter Woods into the first round, and then R. Mason Thomas, their third pick in the draft. And there's some guys that might end up being big factors later, Cyrus Allen or Emmett Johnson. When you look at the 2022 class that did have McDuffie and Karlaftis, we all know what kind of boost that did. We thought Trent McDuffie was going to be a pillar for this organization for many, many years.
Yep.
How many guys from this 2026 class, bare minimum one pillar, I think, but how many guys just need to be key contributors for the next 5 years on this roster? Because I think out of this group, Mansour Delane has to be a pillar. I guess if you swap it out and tell me Delane's just a contributor somehow and Peter Woods becomes a pillar, that works. But most likely, Mansour Delane, given where he was drafted, he needs to become a pillar for this franchise. And when you're a pillar on a team that's in contention to win championships, that means you are probably one of the 5 best at your position, if not 10, if we're being fair.
So it's tough. They need, for this season, 2. And I think for the future, at least 3. I think 2 pillars and at least 3 to maybe 4 starters. As in, play most of the snaps. They could be rotational defensive linemen who I count as pseudo starters or linebackers who play 60% of the snaps. But 4 guys who are real contributors out of this draft and 2 guys who are pillars. And if they want to win the AFC West this year, they have to have it go exactly the way it went in the 2022 draft. They need Peter Woods, Delane, and R. Mason Thomas, 2 of those 3, to be immediate and being some of the best players on your team day one. Because that's what it was. Karlaftis was immediately their 3rd or 2nd best pass rusher behind Chris Jones. And Trent McDuffie was immediately one of the best players on the entire defense. They need that again to win the AFC West this year.
It's the answer makes interesting too, depending on how you view this season. Because if you're next week when we start doing our futures and we give our win totals and all that kind of stuff leading up to the start of the season, if you're going to text in or you're going to call in or whatever and say you think the Chiefs are a 13-win football team, I don't think they are. But if that's what your case is, then I don't know how you don't answer this question and tell me you believe right away what you said right away, that Delane is a future, is almost an all-pro right away, that Peter Woods is a problem right away, that R. Mason Thomas is a 5+ sack guy his rookie year. Those are the only scenarios I think this team wins 13. Now, you can always text in and just say Patrick Mahomes is the reason why. That's always the easy cop-out.
Yeah.
But I think for this year's Chiefs team to be 13 wins, as in back to being the best team maybe in the AFC, those 3 guys all have to immediately be very, very good football players. If you have guys that advance throughout the season and they're just contributors, that sets up well for 2027. I don't know how the 2 to me cannot be separate answers. If you're someone that's so bullish on them being back to the best team in the AFC this year, then you have to be bullish on all 3 of the guys you mentioned.
And again, it doesn't have to be, how this hit rate is, it doesn't have to be everybody, right? One guy could just be like, oh, a pseudo contributor or whatever, right? Like, it doesn't have to be, you've got numbers, right? It could be Cyrus Allen instead of R. Mason Thomas.
Sure.
It could be Cyrus Allen instead of Peter Woods. It doesn't have to just be the first two guys you took in the draft. In 2022, it ended up being, though. It was. And here's the problem with this year's draft classes. I'm telling you, it needs to be like 2022, but they had way more bites at the apple in 2022. But they got 3 guys in the top 40 this year. And that's why I'm putting that pressure on there. Look, Candidate can take his time. Emmett Johnson can take his time. Nussmeier's not going to matter this year's team. It's fine. But between Cyrus Allen, R. Mason Thomas, Peter Woods, and Mansour Delane, to win the West this year, I think 3 of those guys have to be real contributors. One has to be that's one of the 5 best players on the team. And at least 2 have to be really high impact guys. Like, I think immediately, no matter what, for the future, you need 3 of those guys to be starters, full-time starters. Emmett Johnson, Cyrus Allen, Candidate, R. Mason Thomas, Peter Woods, and Delane. You need 4 of them. And I know that sounds like a lot. And R. Mason Thomas being a full-time starter could be just, he gets 6 sacks and he plays 60% of the snaps. That counts in my mind. But, I mean, you got to get there. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. They're counting on the rookies a lot this year. Let's just be honest. And that's fine. They've done that before, and it worked. It just depends on whether or not they got the draft picks right.
And, we know the first 3 picks were all defensive players, and that's where Steve Spagnuolo and Andy Reid, they don't have as much of a choice in slow playing the young guys. And we knew that this offseason when it began, even before they drafted them. Just by nature of where this roster is at, you don't have the luxury of waiting 7 weeks to start playing some of the younger guys.
Yeah.
Now, we can argue, should R. Mason Thomas be playing more snaps? That'll be a debate, I'm sure, after week 1. But in terms of just parking him on the bench or having a very small snap count, that's not doable. You can't do that with Peter Woods. Even though you have Tonga, Peter Woods is going to play.
Yes.
They don't have the ability to slow play it the way they have in the past, which in a weird way might be a good thing for them if you're wanting the progression for some of these younger players. On the offensive side, it's a little bit different. Like, we all think they're going to play Cyrus Allen, but that still could be a much slower build.
Yes.
Emmett Johnson could be a slower build as the season goes on.
It's just tough because that 2022 draft class was something. Isaiah Pacheco was pretty much, not quite, but like day 1 starter. So he played in 17 games. He had almost 1,000 yards all purpose. Like, he immediately mattered. And then, of course, we know what Karlaftis and Trent McDuffie did, who were 2 guys that mattered. But they had other players who did things. Like, Brian Cook played, right? They had other guys who were slow. Some guys were slower builds, but some guys contributed right away. Like, Leo Chenal did not play that much his rookie year, but he was on the field. Brian Cook wasn't the starter, but he was on the field. Joshua Simmons played more than they wanted, and Jalen Watson was a starter. So, like, they're probably not going to get that because Candidate doesn't look like he's going to be a day 1 starter. That's what's interesting about their draft class. They almost drafted the way they used to, which was, hey, we need some of these guys to eventually replace the guys, right? Like, we need Candidate to eventually replace some of the guys who are going to go away, not necessarily start. That draft, they just took a bunch of guys they needed to play immediately. That's why R. Mason, Peter Woods, and Mansour Delane, that's why it's so top-heavy. Those guys have to play right away. They don't have enough depth to not play them. None of those are slow-walking prospects.
No, but I also don't think it's a coincidence. Go back to the 2022 draft class. Now, it wasn't the 6th overall pick, but it happened to be a year where they had multiple first-round picks. It happened to be a year where they were willing to trade up that year. All the other years, Brett Veach is picking 30 to 32 for the most part. Trent McDuffie, we all know they traded up for it. That was the year, you had multiple first-round picks post Tyreek Hill trade. So that's how you had the multiple picks. This year is the Trent McDuffie trade. We'll hope the results are the same, where, give Brett Veach a couple more picks in the first round and earlier ones, and he's got a track record of nailing those when that happens. We'll find out if that continues.
My best guess is that they actually do see them as contributors right away because, in my experience being around the team, when they think a guy is a project, they tell you. Because they're trying to, lower the expectation. Do you remember, when FAU came in the league? What was, the first thing they said when they drafted him? Oh, he just a raw player. He's going to take some time to get up to speed. We're working with. They haven't said that about R. Mason Thomas at all. They have just put him in and played him, and life is life. They haven't gone through the motions of trying to pretend like Peter Woods is some player that's going to take a few years to develop. They're just talking about that's a guy who's got to play. And I'm not saying play like a 10-year vet, but they got to play like somebody who's an instant contributor. And so I don't know. It very much is interesting. And if they're ever they can make the playoffs without all of the rookies paying dividends.
Sure.
But if they're going to win the West, it's got to be more than 2. It's got to be at least 3 of these being serious contributors to the team.
I just think they need that contribution if you think they're back to being the best team in the AFC and they're winning 13 or more games. You know, that's the part that changes. With Mahomes being healthy and some areas where I think they will get some improvement, that to me is a playoff team. But how they elevate themselves to once again being viewed as the top dog, they're going to need these guys to be key contributors and maybe even better than that as the season goes on. Coming up in 15 minutes, we'll talk about candidates to rise and fall, what a couple national publications are saying. I did see this during the break, and it's interesting because I'm just like, how does this get determined? I'm not saying he shouldn't be inducted, but the Eagles announced they're inducting their owner, Jeffrey Lurie, into the Eagles Hall of Fame on Monday when the team hosts the Cowboys. Okay, cool. Why are you bringing this up? If the owner's getting inducted, who's deciding the owner's getting in?
The owner? I don't know how their
like.
team...
I know there's a committee for like when the Royals have their Hall of Fame. There's a committee that votes on it. So I'm sure there's a committee for the Eagles. But I think it's funny. It's like we're inducting the owner. I mean, why now? And who's deciding for the owner to get inducted into
the Chiefs Hall of Fame? I can at least tell you that one. A small internal committee of team officials and former players who review candidates. Can you imagine being a former player under the owner being like,
"You're going to vote no"? That's what I'm saying. Is you're voting? What are you going to say? No, I'm actually a no vote for the owner. I'm actually a no vote. Don't think he should be in.
Honestly, it's so weird because I actually just think you should be ineligible as the owner
for your team's Hall of Fame.
Yeah. You don't need to be in the team's Hall of Fame. You owned them. You owned the team.
Is Lamar Hunt in?
Yes.
But Lamar Hunt deserves to be in the real, like the Hall of Fame, not just the Chiefs Hall of Fame, like the Hall of Fame.
I think there's obviously different things that they did, but I think it's the same sort of conversation.
Yeah, I guess if you found the organization, it kind of makes sense. It doesn't matter. Like if the owner, you can just put up whatever, like Gold said, you can have a whole wing in your little Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Honestly, it should just be a permanent rotating exhibit on like whoever the owner is at that time. Now, look, in fairness, Lurie's one of the better owners because his team has won a bunch and has Super Bowl titles and all these other things. I think you have to at least have gotten the Super Bowls in order to put yourself in. So help me if the Bengals owner tries to put himself in. You've had the team for a decade or for a century and haven't been able to win anything. Better not be putting yourself in the Hall of Fame for what? For 0 Super Bowl titles?
That'd be Paul Brown who'd be in it, not Mike Brown, I guess, in that case.
But Mike Brown seems like the kind of guy who would put himself in it.
I know, absolutely. Mike Brown, absolutely.
He feels like the kind of guy who'd put himself
Mike Brown
in it.
absolutely is not the type of person who would do that.
You don't think so?
No. Mike Brown is not like other owners in terms of pockets or in terms of the ego at all whatsoever.
I just thought it was weird. Obviously, Jeffrey Lurie probably does deserve to be in the Eagles Hall of Fame. It's just interesting. Like, okay, how does that actually get determined? As we sit here today, Cody, we are 2 weeks away from the start of the NFL season. That's right. It starts on a Wednesday, of course, right?
So
because
weird.
the Seahawks are playing on Wednesday night because the Rams and Niners game is in Australia on Thursday here stateside, Friday morning in Australia.
I also saw during the break more devastating celebrity news. Did you see? So we lost Dolly Parton yesterday. We lost
an actor passed away.
Tim Curry. Did you ever see? Were you not a fan of Rocky Horror Picture Show?
I did not.
With a million other things.
He's been in other movies. Yeah.
Oh, tons.
But I did not watch Rocky Horror Picture Show. But
that's what he's most known for. That or Clue or several other things over the course of years.
He's been in Home Alone too. Is another one for those that watched Home Alone. There's so many different movies that he's been in. Scary Movie too, I think, and
TV
3.
shows and a million other things. He has a very, very long career. A real bummer, Just keep losing.
He had a based on the article here, he had a stroke back like over 10 years ago that impacted his life considerably, and he passed away. It's so weird, Cody. They say like the whole people die in groups of 3 thing. It's so weird this happened. Like obviously Dolly Parton yesterday, and now you're telling me Tim Curry. It's weird how this stuff happens like this.
Everyone's on watch, I guess.
Yeah, seriously.
It is a bummer. Just something, we'll tell you again about it in What's Trending maybe, but just wanted to point it out. On the other end of college football, you and I were talking about like lawsuits as it relates to players and all this other stuff. And we're like, we're not really sure how that would work because the conferences are setting a rule. Can you sue a conference for a rule? Wouldn't these teams not take these players on? Well, turns out there's some rumors that Lane Kiffin, in trying to get some of these players, so his school, to be clear, voted for a rule that would do the same thing the Big Ten did yesterday, which is prevent players who go into the NFL for a training camp and this other stuff from coming back to college and being eligible college. His school voted against that. Meanwhile, the rumors are behind closed doors, he is telling those players he wants to come to LSU to sue the conference, sue the school, sue the NCAA, sue whoever you need to in order to get yourself eligible. So clearly Lane still wants these players, and he still thinks lawsuits are the answer to do it. What the hell's going on here? Why can't LSU just let this stuff go and stop trying to bring these players back if all the others conferences are trying to do it?
I mean, it's not just Lane Kiffin. Kim Mulkey is bringing in a player from Russia, when she's got a Ukrainian player on the roster. Will Wade is bringing in RJ Luis from the G League. It's just LSU. There's some other college basketball programs.
I do think there's other ones
too,
behind closed doors who are trying to get this done. And by the way, text line,
for college basketball, yes. For college football, no.
Text line, I apologize for not mentioning that he was Pennywise in It. That's a movie I grew up on and watched a lot as a kid.
We're very mad.
We're hosting a show, so I don't always randomly think of that is probably his most famous role other than Rocky Horror Picture Show. Those are the two biggest. I know that he was in it. I do love the original It, by the way. Did you ever see it?
I never saw the original. I saw the remake.
Wait, you never saw the original?
No, I saw the remake.
That seems crazy to me. You saw the Skarsgård one, but you never saw the original It?
I've only seen the one that came out 10 years ago.
We used to reenact it when I was a kid. We watched that one a ton.
Oh, yeah. No, probably should have mentioned it, but also he's been in 50 movies. Sorry, we didn't mean the one
and
you wanted
TV
us
shows.
to name.
I mean, it's probably the biggest one, but whatever. I just want to acknowledge it so you guys can not text in. I got it. He was Pennywise.
No, please keep texting in. Please keep texting in. Tweet at Cody B. Tap.
I feel bad that I did not mention it, but I don't need it to be sold again. This is crazy. Lane Kiffin's just operating outside the law.
I'm not surprised. Look, I still wonder how this plays out, because if the conference voted unanimously to say we agree we're not allowing individuals that have signed a contract or been in the NFL training camp to come back to college. Okay, if they said that's not allowed in our conference. Heck, the Big Ten is suspending coaches half a season if you try to pull this crap.
Yep.
Okay? The SEC, I don't believe, has announced those kind of punishments. They just said we don't believe it should be a thing. So that's what's unique here. The other part is, what I can't get over on the lawsuit end is if it is actually against the rules, this is different than the other lawsuits, right? Because in the other lawsuits, you had publicly, at least, the player and the school trying to work together to make it to where a player is eligible. In this case, the school at the top is saying, we don't think this player should be eligible, but we know behind the scenes now Lane Kiffin is saying, no, we want you eligible. So if I'm the school president,
be like, hey, man,
how come I, if I truly am actually anti this idea, then I should say, hey, you can sue all you want. The court cannot force me to have you on my roster. The court can rule you eligible still, but the court cannot force LSU to sign a player. That's not the court cannot force anybody to sign someone to a scholarship.
And they have an injunction hearing, I think, those players on the 31st of August, if I remember correctly, as to whether or not they'll be allowed in. But
would Lane Kiffin, though, Drew, real quick, would Lane Kiffin go against the SEC on this?
Yes.
Bold.
I mean, what a showdown that's going to be.
I mean, just in terms of Lane Kiffin, the same thing that Kim Mulkey said about her whole deal is the same thing that Lane Kiffin is basically saying is, if I can make my team better, I'm going to do it. And he almost is going against the university in a way, obviously, because of their wishes. But the dumb thing about this, the dumbest part about it, is he was on McAfee yesterday, and he basically said, normally I would be against NFL players coming back to college and all this. He goes, but there was a court order, and we're going to follow the court order. So it's the dumbest thing. He's finding an excuse to make the team better, which, again, some would say, are you actually making the team better, or are you disrespecting the players currently on your roster, where empty promises happen all the time in college sports? But if you're promising, hey, man, we like you, we want you to come in the portal, you're going to get some playing time on the defensive line, and all of a sudden you're bringing back one of your boys, Xavier Harris, from your Ole Miss days. If I'm a player, I'm a little bit ticked off about that. Like, you told me I was going to play, now all of a sudden you're bringing guys in from the NFL. How can I trust you as my coach? He's a very untrustworthy person, and this is before this whole thing even happened, I think, going back to the days that even before Ole Miss. I mean, there's just a history that is repeated with Lane Kiffin where, of all the coaches in college football, if you were to handpick ones who this would be a problem with, Lane Kiffin would be one of those that you handpick.
He obviously, and I don't blame coaches and players and organizations, have been trying to break the rules since the dawn of time. Going back to $100 handshakes and all that, SMU was the only one paying. No, everybody was doing it. Everyone's constantly trying to find the one little technical legal loophole that allows them to get whoever. And so I don't think Lane Kiffin's operating outside of it. He's just got a real shady personality, and he does it out in the open. Like, probably Dabo's doing this too, and he just like tries to be like, "Oh, I'm a good old boy.
Dabo's not doing this.
Dabo's anti-transfer and everything.
I don't think Dabo's but
he's doing it in some other ways, breaking some rules about how long his team can practice or meet or some other thing. They're all breaking rules. I don't think there's like one clean college football coach in the entire sport.
Sure. I mean, in fairness, though, I think that the ones, though, that are the biggest issues where if you were to just take all of LSU and just fire all three coaches, not that you'd solve the NIL issue, but you would. But this would not be a problem. The whole NFL to college thing, if Lane Kiffin was not coaching at LSU, like it just wouldn't be a problem anymore. And I think that it's just the hypocritical nature of, well, I actually don't believe in this. I don't think it's good, but I'm going to do it because it helps my team, I think, and it helps us win. That's the problem.
Yeah, and my guess is his fan base probably is thrilled that he's doing this, right? I mean, they're so desperate for a winner there at LSU.
I'd be curious to see if they actually like what's going on there.
I'm assuming most LSU fans are very much, hey, whatever it takes to win, Lane, do it. I'm guessing in SEC country, Drew, you know how crazy SEC fans are. I would be shocked if there are, I'm sure there is a single LSU fan, but a majority of LSU fans probably are like, hey, we don't care, Lane, do whatever you got to do, man. I bet you they...
Oh, yeah, 98% of them.
Alabama fans, same way. Like, it's not even unique to LSU in that regard. Fans will say, what do I care about the repercussions? It doesn't impact them. They just want to win.
Exactly. Like, Alex wouldn't care if Kansas played the entire Chicago Bears as the Jayhawks this year if they won a national championship and it was allowed. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you wouldn't care. You'd be like, well, they're winning the Natty. Great.
See, but the whole thing...
Just go for the whole thing. Rip it.
But I do think that along the lines of, like if Texas Tech this year, let's say Sorsby actually was allowed to play, and let's say Texas Tech won the whole thing.
Yeah.
That is stained forever. It doesn't matter what.
But their fans would embrace it still.
Sure, yeah. Same thing.
That's all you're trying
same
to
way
keep
that UCF has the 2017 national champion banner up on their
but
stadium.
In this
we
scenario,
know that it's fake. You know that it's fake, and we know that it was rigged in the whole. Nobody could. They would never be able to properly claim that national title without feeling shady, and nobody else would recognize it.
I know that Vince Young and USC. I know that they pay their players and I still remember them winning the national championship and respect the fact that they won it. Like I think the fact that it never takes away in the end.
I'll be totally honest. The fact that USC paying Reggie Bush and all that stuff is way less worse than what Lane Kiffin is currently doing. But it's viewed as what USC did with Reggie Bush as diabolical and everything like that. When it actually is much less of a problem than what Lane Kiffin is trying. Like you're going back. You're disrupting society in a way that is. It makes no sense. It makes you want to pinch yourself and say, is this a dream? But it's not. And we're talking so much about, like, the fact that this is happening now, too, is ridiculous. Not just from the standpoint of what is happening, but how do you expect, if you're Lane Kiffin, to bring these players back from an NFL team that have no camaraderie with any of the players and for this to work? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
He just wants to, he'll do anything to win.
But I don't know if it's going to help him win.
I know, but
if they lose to Clemson in week 1, they're going to want to fire him.
Great, bring it on. I can't wait.
God, what a game.
College football starts this Saturday, by the way.
A game I hope neither team wins.
Well, that's not possible, unfortunately. So you probably won't be watching.
Up next, guys, let's talk about some teams on the rise and maybe falling quickly in the NFL. Plus, thinking of college football, we do have our play caller now for the opening drive of a team's season. We'll explain that next.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out.
Leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
You already live for football. The jerseys, the Sundays, the bets you sweat all week. At Fanatics Sportsbook, we see it, and we reward you for it. Every bet you place earns fan cash. Win, lose, or push. Spend it on the jersey you've been eyeing. Tickets so close you can hear the play call. A rookie card you never sell. Or your next parlay. From your next bet to your next great sports memory, Fanatics delivers it all. Rewards hit different here. Plus, new customers can bet and get up to $1,000 in fan cash. Fanatics, the only sports book to reward every bet. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. CT, call 888-789-7777. MA, call 800-327-5050. NY, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. MD, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Based on leading U.S. sportsbook analysis, July 2026. Offer not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatics app for details.
Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. We're in the Midwest, where tornadoes are real and our water table is high. So we practically tap a well every time we dig a basement. As a plumber, I could tell you that water always wins. This month, we have a sump pump special. $200 off a main pump or $400 off a battery backup system. Protect your basement. If you haven't used us yet, we would love to win you over. Visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct, to the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Flu season is here. Get your flu shot today at your local Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment is necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. That's right, a 20-cent fuel saver. Get your flu shot when it's convenient for you. Schedule online or just stop by your Hy-Vee pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Help your family stay healthy. Get your flu shot and get a 20-cent fuel saver only at Hy-Vee. See store for details. Some restrictions apply.
School's back in session and we're all busy now, and that's why it's hard to get to the grocery store. But you could get your groceries delivered in as little as 30 minutes. That's why I love Hy-Vee's new Get It Faster service. When you're crunched for time and need something fast, Hy-Vee to the rescue. Just download the Hy-Vee app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping for me. Choose the Get It Faster option, and your groceries will be ready in a snap. Try it for yourself. Get It Faster delivery or pickup only at Hy-Vee.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Get up to 0% on select 2026 Subaru models for up to 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City. 0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru. The Subaru A Lot to Love event.
VIN number 4S4SLD L61T3038472. Based on 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderston Auto Group has you covered. A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Go to bagkc.com.
It's time to get everything you need for the job from one partner. No more juggling vendors. We've got your entire job supply covered. Supply the entire job with job lot quantities of everything you need, from flooring to roofing, with access to thousands of products not available in stores. More products mean more colors, sizes, and finishes, so you can get exactly what you need to get the job done. Learn more at the Pro Desk, the Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
You've got a big day,
So you use Unstoppable scent boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
boss, 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 bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppables beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness so you can smell unstoppable.
Listen to the Chiefs and Seahawks this Friday with pregame starting at 6 and kickoff at 7. All right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, and Odyssey Sports Station.
11 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. Coming up at 12:30, Josh Vernier, our Royals insider, will join us. We'll talk to Vern about the Royals' 9-game winning streak. Also, 1 o'clock today, expected to hear from Andy Reid as they get closer to their preseason finale on Friday. We'll get, I guess, official confirmation maybe, Cody, on who's not playing, at least confirm that for sure Mahomes is not playing. We all don't expect him to, but that would be the thought there around 1 o'clock from Andy Reid. You guys can always interact still on the Jay Southland Toasters text line, 913-586-7965, and, of course, video stream. Also up on YouTube, Twitch, X, and Facebook. Before we get to the trash of the day, which is about 15 minutes away, ESPN has been doing their rise and fall teams this year. They also did some regression candidates, but I want to name a couple of these, and do you guys agree with predicting the teams most likely to decline in 2026? The first team that they listed, I believe this was Bill Barnwell and Kevin Clark. Clark was commenting on Barnwell's article, but it was initially Barnwell. And he said the Bears, number one regression candidate in his mind. They were 11-6 last year. They were 7-4 in games decided by 7 points or fewer. Their strength of schedule, 10th toughest is what the projection.
They're one of the toughest divisions in all of football, I would say. But
That's
Ben Johnson's also said it out loud. If he has said that they're one of the biggest regression candidates and that's what they have to fight against, I actually think it's a pretty accurate estimation. I think their entire regression depends on if Caleb Williams gets better. Caleb Williams has to get better. Not like massively. He doesn't have to take some he's not like a bad quarterback who has to become a really good quarterback, but he has to take some sort of step forward.
I disagree on the regression. They won 11 games. I mean, what we think now they're a 9-win football team or fall back just one game. I don't think they're winning 13 either, but they didn't win 13 last year. If they won 13, I would say, what's regression look like for the Bears? They could not win the division and still be an 11-win team. You know what I mean? I disagree on the regression for them.
I think they could regress to 9. I don't know that I'd bet it right now because I do think Caleb Williams is going to get better, but I don't think it's out of the question. They still got problems in the sense that they're counting on a second-year wide receiver in Luther Burden. They let go of their best wide receiver. Look, they like Burden. They clearly like
their tight ends getting better and better though, and Loveland.
Yeah, so they're a little bit better there. The offensive line's certainly not bad, but defensively there's still some question marks. They're not like an elite defensive line team, and so I can kind of get where they're coming from on it. The other 4 I would say are more likely to me. Actually, 3 of the other 4 are more likely to me. One of them, I just don't think it's a regression candidate, and maybe I'm just way off on this team. Because one of them's Carolina. Fine. They weren't all that good last year anyway. So for them to regress below 8 and 9, that makes sense. I don't think
their
Bryce
schedule
Young's
is brutal.
Brutal.
I don't think any of us think they're repeating as division champs.
I think they're missing the playoffs and winning 6 games. So let's just move on from them. The interesting ones are Denver, Jacksonville, and New England, the other 3 they put on the list. Denver, logical. I think Denver and Jacksonville, to me, logical. They got extraordinary play based on the history of those players in Trevor Lawrence and Bo Nix. So unless they're going to both have career years again, or they have even better play somewhere in their system, that would make sense. Defensively, I think Jacksonville's a little bit worse than they were last year. Denver, I think, is a slightly worse defensively than they were a year ago. Those 13-win teams easily think they're dropping back several games.
Well, the Broncos won 14, right? I mean, they were 14-3. They were 9-2 in games decided by 7 or fewer. I think they absolutely were regressing. Now, we'll do divisional picks next week. I still, right now, I'm leaning towards picking the Broncos to win the division, but they're not winning 14. They are not coming anywhere close to 14 wins. I think the Broncos have around 11 wins written all over them this season. Some of that 9-2 record and 7 points or fewer, that's going to regress to the mean a little bit. We all saw that play out for the Chiefs. But I still think their defense is why they've got a chance to absolutely be in that 11 to 12 win range. But I just don't think anybody in the AFC period this year is getting to 14. I don't think anybody. Whether you want to pick the Raven. I don't think the Ravens are getting to 14, even though people like them. The Bills to me aren't getting to 14. The Chiefs aren't getting to 14. I just don't think anybody is.
Would you consider that how much of a regression? I guess is that they
14 to 11? That's a decent amount.
Yeah, but if you still have them winning the division, though, then I don't know if that is that actually a regression if they're winning the division.
Seed. And I think if he's saying win the division, not a serious Super Bowl contender.
I get what you're saying, is in like, hey, they're still a playoff team. They still win the division. I just think when you were the number 1 seed or number 2 seed, number 2 seed in the AFC last year, and you won 14 games, me taking off 3 wins, I mean, everybody's definition is different, but I think that is a regression.
I just wondered if it was like a art.
What do you think? If you guys are obviously dropping them down to not win the division, that means you think they're suddenly going to a 10-win team, which is possible. Is that where you're at?
Yeah, I don't think Denver wins the division.
Okay.
I don't even know if they make the playoffs, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But because I think the division is just super tight, and I'm not sure with the schedule being and just them taking maybe a dip back from where they were maybe.
I would say the only team I really disagree on there is the Patriots. I think the Patriots are still going to be, I think they're going to be probably the number 1 seed in the AFC. I still think they are one of the most complete rosters, have a really good head coach. The quarterbacks played
AJ Brown is brought in.
The quarterbacks played at a higher level than any of these other quarterbacks we've mentioned. Drake May's best season is better than Trevor Lawrence, Bo Nix, any of these other guys, by a pretty good margin. They added a massive weapon in their single biggest area of need. They were young last year, so they're still young. You would think that they've got some improvement under the possible. Like, New England's the only team I don't think is regressing. I still think that they are a 12, 13, 14. Like, I think they're still one of the best teams in the AFC.
Yeah, they're not a full-on regression candidate, like what Drew and I were just discussing. On this one, I don't think they're winning 14 either, but I also think they could still win 13, so that's not a regression, really. I think they're winning the AFC East this year. Their schedule is going to be tougher, but it's still on the easier side because of the division they're in and the way their schedule rotates through. My question with New England is that offensive line play. We saw that in the postseason and the Super Bowl in particular. It's just, did they do enough there? Is there improvement on their offensive line? I don't think this Vrabel Rossini stuff matters whatsoever for football once games start. I know
it's kind of gone away already anyways.
I know it's fun to joke about, and there'll be some signs that are funny,
think it affects some football
but I don't think it has any bearing on the season. In fact, I think it's the best thing that's going to happen to Mike Vrabel is the start of the season.
Who's your number 1 candidate in this? Mine's the Jags. If you made me choose the team that drops the most games from a win-loss perspective out of the 5 he mentioned, it's the Jaguars.
Yeah, mine's the Broncos. I know we differed, but like they can not win the division and still win 3 fewer games. That's quite a few. I'm still high on the Jags. I think they're winning the AFC South this year again.
They in games last year, and this was pointed out by Bill Maher in the article, they had wins against Davis Mills, Jacoby Brissett, Brady Cook, Phillip Rivers, saw Daniel Jones, and Cam Ward. Those are some of their wins last year. That's bad. That's really bad quarterback.
If you look at the schedule, who they play obviously play the quarterbacks in their division. They play Jackson Dart. They play against Aaron Rodgers, who's whatever years old.
Yeah.
They play against Caleb Williams, who we've talked about a little bit. They play against
still face Cam Ward,
a Washington team who stinks, but they play Jaden Daniels. Who knows if he'll be better or not? They play Cleveland. Like I don't. It's not as soft as it was last year, but I don't know if it's as like the beginning of the schedule is way tougher than the back half of the schedule.
That's what I was going to give you. The first 6 games, Drew. They got Cleveland week 1. Okay, fine. We'll call that a win. It's at home. At Denver versus New England. At Cincinnati versus Philadelphia and versus the Texans.
Yeah, they could be 2 and 4 after that, but that doesn't mean. I mean, they go
Duval.
After that, though, they have Colts, Ravens, Titans, Giants, Bears, Pittsburgh. They could go from being, this team stinks after 6 games to they turned that thing around really quickly and they finished 10-7 and made the playoffs.
Yeah,
or 11-6 and won the playoffs.
3-game regression.
I just think Liam Cohen already. We saw what he did with Trevor Lawrence last year, and I think there's more to come from that. I think
I would say Denver
Jags
is my team.
Are my pick.
That fall off the most.
Yeah.
Interesting that we all have different answers, though.
What about
Denver was yours.
What about on the flip side, predicting the teams most likely to?
I looked at this article.
To improve. They listed.
This is ridiculous.
So
why?
They listed Baltimore.
He has the Jets.
He listed Baltimore, Detroit, Kansas City, the Giants, and the Jets. He obviously listed
Get
the
out
Chiefs.
of here.
The Chiefs were 6-11. They were 1-9 in games decided by 7 or fewer. I think they are the most obvious team to improve on their win total. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to argue. We don't have to spend much time there.
No, yeah, the
I
Chiefs
think we all
should
recognize
be number one.
they are at least jumping up 4 wins.
Cincinnati's a clear number 2 to me.
I agree. The Bengals should be up there too.
Absolutely. There's just too much talent. And
the Ravens, same thing.
I even think
healthier Lamar.
You guys probably aren't as bullish on the Giants as I am, but they were 4-13. I think the Giants have 4 more wins at minimum in their season. Maybe you're not with me that thinks they can push for the division, but they won 4 games. They can't get to 8 wins.
A competent head coach in Malik Neighbors certainly makes me think I can get to 7. Just
that defense is really good too.
Now they have a tough schedule. They have an 8th toughest schedule, at least on paper right now, to begin the season. We know that division's going to be very close, although the Commanders look like their offensive line's a disaster. I just don't know about the Commanders. We know the Cowboys, I think, will be pretty damn good. The Eagles will be right there as well. I think the Giants, I don't know what their exact over or under is, but they can't. You're telling me they can't win at least 4 more games to get to 8? I think that's very doable for them.
How many games did the Jets win last year? 2, 3?
I mean, it wasn't many.
I think it was
they
2,
were
wasn't
3-14.
So how
they have the 6th easiest schedule though in football this year.
They play the NFC North and the AFC West though. I know the division's considered to be easy, but it's easy because of them.
They are part of the reason it is easy.
The Jets finished with a turnover margin of -19.
Yeah, it's crazy.
-19.
They didn't have a single interception, right?
Correct. Yeah, they were the only team in the league.
And then, they're talented, what we think is a talented wide receiver, and Garrett Wilson couldn't get the football. Didn't have a catch the final 2 months of the season or whatever it was.
I don't like if you were to say, okay, if 4 wins is the metric, that means they win 7 games this year. I don't see that.
Love our guy Vinny, but I can't even entertain the Jets. I think the Chiefs are number 1. If we're just talking like total wins added to the schedule last year, Chiefs are number 1 by a mile. I think Cincinnati's 2. I can make a strong argument for them in Baltimore.
Those are the
Detroit,
top 3
right?
to me.
Those to me are all just like 2A. Detroit, Baltimore, and Cincinnati. I respect their quarterback play. I respect their head coach play. They got real weapons on offense.
Yeah.
There's logical reason to think that all those teams, so I think maybe all finish with 8 wins. Like every single one of those maybe finished with 8 wins.
So
somewhere in there is
the Bengals had
11
6
or 12.
last year. The Bengals had the same record as the Chiefs did. So the fact that they're not on there and the Jets are is just surprising to me.
Someone texted and said, "Need your opinion, guys. I think the Giants win the division." Well, I mean,
Alex has talked about betting it.
That's been my thing all
division?
offseason. I think 10 could win it.
Okay.
I think 11 is probably where you need to be. No, I like the Giants from a betting value. So this is the conversation we'll have next week with futures. We were actually talking to the boss about it. Like we'll be doing futures next week on social media and stuff. There's a difference between picking it with odds and without odds. There's just a difference. Like I'm way more likely to bet on the Giants to win the division than I would be if you're giving me even odds.
Just pick them.
Like so next week, if we pick the NFC East, I'm probably not picking the Giants to win it. But if I had to bet it, I would bet the Giants. There's a difference.
If you're betting that, then you probably should be betting Harbaugh to win Coach of the Year. Because I mean, if
there's a chance,
if they do that, then it feels like he's going to win it.
I think the Giants are going to be better than people think. Someone said, "What about the Bucs for regression candidate?" I mean, I'm out on the Bucs this year, so I agree with you. They won 8 games last year. I think they might win 7 or 8 games.
But to me, that's the
But they're just
same,
like, but there's no. I mean, they were already an 8-win team. I don't know what, but I just don't think they're going to be any good.
Yeah, I'm not high on them, but also
Someone
like
said Tennessee potentially
to improve. Yeah. Oh, they're a popular pick.
I watch Cam Ward more.
Defensively, they look they're really good on paper. They're kind of like the Giants in a way, actually, which is ironic. Because Dable is there coming from New York.
Titans won 3 games last year. I think best case scenario they bump up. If everything went perfect, the Titans are an 8-win team. That's with a lot going right for them.
I
think so.
They're probably a 7-win team. I don't know what their total is.
I think they're a top 10 pick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, which is a 6-win team. I'm not like way
Is it because
off
of Cam Ward though? Like ultimately, he's the reason though. Yeah.
So I see hope with Cam Ward at times last season, but it's not consistent enough. And I don't know that Dave Canales is the kind of coach that's going to extract the rest. I think he's a bad head.
They got they have Saleh in Tennessee.
Or Saleh. And it's just like I don't think not Canales. That's Bryce Young, but. I don't know that he's enough to extract it out of there.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like Bryce Young, though. I guess that's what's funny about it. It's like, I watch Bryce Young play, and I'm like, that's not the worst quarterback in the NFL. But that's not a quarterback I would even want to give a contract to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not the kind of quarterback that I'd even want to, like, you could make the argument, right, when you get these, like, Kirk Cousins or whatever the world, where you're like, hey, look, or Derek Carr's, you're like, we could do a whole lot worse. Sometimes we got to move forward with these guys and just try to surround them with the Sam Darnolds of the world, and we got to just make everything right. I don't even feel that way about Bryce Young or Cam Ward right now, where I'd want to even say, if I just surround him with the ultimate talent, that it'll work. I mean, those are the kind of quarterbacks I just want to let go.
In terms of big years, too, I know it's only his second season, but with the way the quarterback class is being talked about, if they are a top 10 pick again, Cody, and you know you have Carnell Tate and you paid Wan'Dale Robinson and the defense looks really good on paper, particularly the front seven, do you actually take a quarterback in that top 10? I know that Cam's just after 2 years, but, I mean, it could be one of those things where it's a massive year for him, actually.
In this draft, yes.
All right, let's get to it.
Trash of the day.
We go to Poland for this one.
Oh, overseas.
This involves pizza and some orders and what happened with this entire thing. It was supposed to be a delivery prank. So, a man there, according to an investigation by Polish police, faces up to 8 years in prison for ordering hundreds of pizzas to random addresses. So, he would place these deliveries, closest friends, relatives, etc. Most of the bogus pizza deliveries were meant for addresses in a different town, but at least a few targeted addresses in major Polish cities. Several eateries ended up incurring serious losses by fulfilling the received orders. Some deliveries were rejected for technical reasons. They raided the suspect's home and seized devices and data carriers they suspect was used in the costly pizza delivery prank. He's believed to have ordered and placed an order for 300 pizzas that exceeded over $10,000. In several other instances, the restaurants canceled the order because the sheer number of pizzas could not be prepared in a timely manner. So there's some of these places that made 300 pizzas, $10,000 order, and this guy got them delivered to random addresses.
Did he pay for it?
Nope.
Okay, because if he paid for it,
that's
then
why
that's why he's going to prison. If you pay, I mean, you could pay for 300 pizzas. You could order 300 pizzas.
I gotta say, that's gonna be the lamest reason to ever end up in jail of all time. Hey, what are you in for?
I intentionally
ordered a bunch of
pizzas.
Pizza. I mean, that's gotta be weekend jail, right? You can't put me in. That's gotta be.
No, 8 years in prison.
8 years is crazy.
If found guilty, 23-year-old risks spending up to 8 years behind bars. As for his motive, investigators are still trying to figure it out.
Being 23, I think, is the motive. Being a stupid 23-year-old. I've never done any of that, like fake order something to someone's house, or that's never been, of the many stupid things and pranks I've done in my life in youth, that was not one of them. I will say, somehow this math doesn't add up. 10,300, I mean, that's like $30 a pizza? Some expensive pizza.
I haven't ordered pizza in a while, but isn't pizza delivery now pretty expensive?
I don't think it's $30. I mean, I guess unless you get it from like a nice place.
$33 a pizza is crazy, but someone says there has to be some culpability on the pizza shop owner who made 300 pizzas without prepayment. I do think you got to get prepaid.
Yeah.
Any order over 10 pizzas, got to get prepaid.
Yeah, we got to get at least half up front or something. We're not just in the business of making your 300 pizzas without making sure you're paying for some of these ingredients.
Somebody says, hope Odyssey's ready for pizza for the next 6 months. We're just going to have pizzas delivered here nonstop. I mean, by all means, if you want to have pizzas delivered.
I think we got lunch in the office today.
Oh, that's right. What is it? Italian food today?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Like pizza or like pasta?
I don't know.
Okay.
I guess we'll find out here
we
shortly.
will find out.
Yeah, I think
someone says, Cody, well, if you're talking about fraud, what's the biggest fraud you have committed?
Tax or what do we?
No,
which fraud?
I mean,
because we talked about when I was a youth and I made a bunch of money and I,
Dusty said being a real singer.
Wow! I've never claimed to be that. What's the biggest fraud I've ever?
I mean, look.
I imagine it's just that I didn't. From ages like 15 to 18, I got paid a lot of cash under the table.
Yeah.
And I didn't file any W-2s during that time.
Mm-hmm. So tax fraud.
All right.
Yeah.
I think you're good. You were 14 years old at the time.
Yeah. And honestly, no adult in my life was being like, maybe you should be paying tax on that. Everyone was just happy to let me take the cash and put it in a jar.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like either a parent or the employer, somebody should have been telling me to
That's
pay
the only
tax.
fraud? No other fraud?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
Not to think harder about it.
Yeah.
I did a lot of stupid things in my youth, so I'd like to make sure I don't want to just say no, and then turns out,
Yeah.
Someone says $30 pie, they better be great. It's like, look, I mean, there are some really nice pizza places in town that might charge you $25 to $30 for like a really like a really big pizza. But it's like, it's got to be great pizza.
Text line 913-586-7965 says, I love it when Cody incriminates himself. I think he's good on the 14-year-old cash under the table. I think he's good there.
By the way, other than playing this back in the court, I
think he's all right.
That money spent a long time ago. When I was a kid. Deep pockets.
How much in back taxes do you actually think it would be?
So in the summer, when I was a kid, when I was 14, 15 years old, I dead serious worked 40 to 45-hour weeks in summer as like a 15-year-old. And I made, depending on which year it was, I made between $10 and $12 an hour during that time. So if somebody, and let's call it, what do we think the summer was of baseball? Is 16 weeks feel right? I made some money during fall ball too, but if we're just saying summer.
Fall ball.
So let's say 40 hours a week. Let's just do the low number. $40 or 40 hours a week at $10 an hour. 16 hours a week for probably 5 years of my life. During that time, I probably earned $32,000. I would guess it was probably more than that. And then it was maybe in the 50, I don't know, something like that. It's hard to say. Someone says, don't give them numbers, Cody. I don't remember. I worked a lot of hours.
This is where I'm convinced, Drew, I'm convinced if this is where we've joked all the time, like Cody hates like silence. So like we've had,
that's how I incriminate myself.
We used to like do a thing where our old producer would intentionally in my headphones tell me, hey, don't say anything. Just see how long until Cody just can't help himself and just keeps talking. And Cody would just keep talking and we wouldn't have to say anything. We used to do that. I'm convinced if Cody was being investigated for something, you would absolutely just incriminate yourself because you'd be like, they would ask you a question. First, you'd say
no.
That's
a real strategy.
First, you would say no. They would pause for 5 seconds, and then Cody would be like, try to expand on it, and then you would start incriminating yourself.
You wouldn't even need if they brought you some food or something like that. You wouldn't do it after food. You would do it before.
That's
you got anything
before I ever get picked up. That's why the one and only word I'm saying is lawyer, and I gotta hope. I hope that lawyer gets there before they get me talking.
Problem is, you couldn't sit quiet in the back of a police car. You would try to have a conversation. You wouldn't be able to just shut up.
How's the day going?
You wouldn't be able to shut up.
That would be the most ridiculous way to have a conversation. You're in the back of a police car because you got arrested. So how's your day going? Like
he wouldn't be.
He wouldn't be able to help himself.
He would try to start a conversation, I think, and eventually tell them what really happened.
Someone says no tax at that age unless it's over around 12,000. Okay, it was 11,999 as I remember.
Perfect.
As I recall. It was exactly
multiple people agreeing. Cody would sing like a bird in interrogation. I think so.
Well, don't get into any crimes with me because I'm flipping.
I think so.
I'm going to be the first one.
It makes me nervous as we're heading to Vegas.
In fairness, the one time I got arrested, I did not they arrested us all for the same crime. Technically, a crime I was in the car with, but did not commit, as I didn't hit the mailbox. I didn't say anything. My lawyer said, "Hey, technically," my lawyer at the time, I'm dead serious. Said, "He's like, hey, you can." I could probably get you less community service hours if you want to, essentially tell them you weren't hitting the mailboxes, you were just in the car. I can get you less hours. I'm like, let's not do that. I only had 10 hours anyway. What am I getting it down to? 5?
Well, yeah.
Nah, it's fine. I was in the car. We're good. I'll take the punishment.
All right, up next, let's get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour and some players that have expiring contracts that could be looking at a new deal based on their performance. We'll get to that. And a new lineman is in Kansas City.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Dynasties aren't built overnight. They're built one smart move at a time. At Main Street Credit Union, our certified financial counselors turn your hopes for someday into a game plan that starts today. Schedule a financial counseling session with one of our certified financial advisors to draw up the right financial play for you. Main Street Credit Union. Real people, real progress. Join us at mainstreetcu.org.
Listen up, guys. Do you think you know who's going yard today? Well, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to prove your baseball expertise with Daily Dingers. Here's how it works. Make your pick on who's going to hit a home run, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a shot at extra winnings. Now, when your favorite star goes deep and knocks it out of the park, it'll feel that much sweeter. Daily Dingers is free to play, and you can lock in a pick every day of the baseball season, and that's why FanDuel is your home for home runs. Get ready to play your game. Make your first pick at FanDuel.com/local. One more time, that's FanDuel.com/local to play Daily Dingers and make your free pick on who's going yard today. FanDuel, an official partner of Major League Baseball, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issue with non-withdrawable profit boost. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Telly Tire and Auto Center's biggest sale is back. The tires at cost sale. That's right, you pay what we pay on any in-stock tires from Telly's huge inventory. Our certified techs will even mount and balance them for only $30 per tire. All that plus a 30-day ride guarantee and lifetime tire protection. Gas and grocery prices may be going up, but there's never been a better time to buy tires. Reserve yours now at TELLEtire.com before our sale ends. Take care of your car. Take it to Telly. Additional charges apply for tire disposal and road hazard warranty.
What to do today? There's boating, fishing.
At Jackson County Parks Plus Rec,
sailing, skiing, picnicking.
There are countless ways to make your day.
Canoeing, hiking, biking.
And you just
swimming.
found your spot right here.
Camping. Yeah, camping. I'll camp at Lake Jacomo or Longview Lake or maybe Blue Springs Lake. Hit the beach at Longview Lake. Oh, they're all so close to
Jackson County Parks Plus Rec. Miles of smiles, minutes away. Learn more at makeyourdayhere.com.
The first ever Infiniti QX65 feels unstoppable. In a world that is frozen in its ways, this sporty fastback SUV never stops moving forward. Turbocharged performance, intelligent all-wheel drive standard, ProPilot Assist 2.1. This is a ride beyond the expected. This is unstoppable progress. Discover the first ever Infiniti QX65 at InfinityUSA.com. 2027 QX65 expected early summer 2026.
Imagine every time your business makes a sale. Inventory updates, an invoice is created, customer records are updated, accounting stays current. That's the power of Odoo. One fully integrated platform where every part of your business works together, automating tasks, eliminating extra steps, and saving you valuable time. Everything connects. Everything works. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
It's time to get everything you need for the job from one partner. No more juggling vendors. We've got your entire job supply covered. Supply the entire job with job lot quantities of everything you need, from flooring to roofing, with access to thousands of products not available in stores. More products mean more colors, sizes, and finishes, so you can get exactly what you need to get the job done. Learn more at the Pro Desk, the Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
This report is brought to you by Go Car Wash. It's your time to go shine.
For a limited time at Go Car Wash, mention radio and get any wash for just $5. Yep, any wash. That's up to 80% off our best wash. Visit Go Car Wash today. It's your time to go shine.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Josh Simmons from the Kansas City Chiefs, and welcome into the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day at 11:30 on Cody and Gold on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right. Coming up in about 8 minutes, we'll talk about the newest member of the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs making a trade with the New York Giants. What does it actually mean? But there are multiple players on the roster, as you would imagine, that have expiring contracts. And based on this year, could they get a new deal here or elsewhere? Let's run through a couple names. And who are these players do you think is likely to get a new deal from Kansas City, or you would like to get a new deal from Kansas City after this year? As in, basically, who's got a lot to play for in 2026? The obvious name at the top is Jalen Moore. I do think there is still a level of play that could result in him getting a long-term deal. I know there are a lot of fans that are kind of just out and they're like, just get through this year and move on. But I'll remind you, this goes back to like, oh, we haven't seen the other guys suck yet, which is, I think a lot of fans are like, hey, Jalen Moore, get through this year, and then Benson will be our starting right tackle next year.
Yeah.
Ideally, I think, but are we going to see enough from Benson? So I'll still list Jalen Moore. If he's healthy all year and gives them average play, I still think there is a scenario, Cody, where he could get a new deal with Kansas City because they don't want to have to spend draft assets again. Because if he walks, even with Benson, you still might be forced to go and spend money on another tackle again or another draft pick. So Jalen Moore, I actually think I put at a chance that he's back in Kansas City next year, 25, 35%.
I think it's probably in that range. Like, I was looking through the expiring contract list. Moore, Tranquil, Shamari Connor, FAU, Rashee Rice, and Chris Roland Wallace. And Roland Wallace maybe, but like they love guys like that, just giving him some cheap 2-year
Spags
deal.
was loving on him a lot yesterday.
Honestly,
he really likes him.
He plays every single year, Drew. He finds his way onto a football field in important snaps, covering important people sometimes.
Yeah, Spags had high praise.
For whatever reason it is, man, that's just a guy that he likes. Of those guys, I hope it's not Jalen Moore. I hope that Khalil Benson is more than worthy of the job by the time, or maybe wins it at some point or whatever. It's like, or they feel good about his development as a backup player during the time to do it. I think the most interesting two are Felix Anudike-Uzomah and Shamari Connor. Because Shamari Connor and
But those are not big, those are small deals too, though, Cody. I mean, we're talking tiny deals for both of them.
I know, but like I just didn't know who's coming. Like, because I don't want it to be Rashee Rice.
Well, here's the thing. There's a difference of what wanting to have like so yeah. For the Chiefs' long-term success, I would rather them not get a deal done with Jalen Moore because that means probably they feel good about Benson. I'm just saying it doesn't get like there's a scenario where Jalen Moore is not that good this year. Benson, we don't know enough about, and the Chiefs still feel they have to use a first-round pick next year on a tackle, and I will freak out.
Not even kidding. Who? Dane Brugler. He already put out his mock for next year or whatever because he's a lunatic.
Offensive lineman.
It includes right tackle, some kid from Iowa.
Yeah, so I don't want that scenario presenting itself.
Cody, this question feels like it's more. It's not about the money or the type of deal. It's just are they getting a deal? Like even if it's 2 for 12.
I mean, who do you want back, hypothetically? Who do you think is going to play well enough for this team to justify getting a
Because I was looking at this list, and I'm like, man, in terms of just likely to get a new deal, the way that I kind of looked at it is not a long-term extension, but that's kind of the way that I'm looking at it, like 3 or 4 plus years. And I know we don't like it, but the name on this list is Rashee Rice, because if he has that good of a season, then out of all of the guys on this list, like Drew Tranquil, age, I don't know, linebackers are replaceable. Shamari Connor, Spags does like him, where I think I would put him maybe higher on the list than I think he should be. But in terms of players that could have a massive season where they get a deal that is maybe a little bit below market value, I guess, but in terms of them getting close to that number, Rashee Rice is the name on this list. Unless Felix Anudike-Uzomah goes out and has 7 or 8 sacks, then maybe Felix gets a contract that's double digits per season sort of thing.
I think there's no more than 2 on this list that would ever be back.
Really? That's it?
Yeah. I think there's
knowing
no
they
more.
love players. I think Chris Roland Wallace could be back. I think FAU could be back. If he has a good year, I think he could be back.
Is FAU like, I mean, what is it though? Is it like a 1 for 6 or a 1 for 7?
2 for 12, like
does
it's one
that
of those.
count? I guess
He's
it does
back,
count,
he's back.
but sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's definitely a difference between some of them. You know, Rashee Rice, I think he's going to have a great year. I would not extend Rashee Rice, but
any of us would.
The temptation, I acknowledge, if he goes out and has the year I think he's going to have, legitimately, I think 1,200 yards is in play. If he has that year, there will be Chiefs fans that will talk themselves into it, and I'm sure Brett Veach will talk himself into it as well. I wouldn't do it, but absolutely he would be a candidate on this list. You're right about CRW and what Spags has said. I just think corners, they got a deep room. They can always draft another one candidate. Like, I don't, it's one of those,
just
like,
drafted another one.
Who knows, right? I mean, I guess he could come back on a 1-year deal. Shamari Connor, I think, for a guy that played 98% of the defensive snaps, we know they consider him an important piece of their defense. Drew Tranquill, I'm with you. I do feel like this is probably his last year in Kansas City. Even if he has a nice year, it's just the nature of the business. And
you got to find someone younger and different.
Yeah, and look, I like Drew Tranquill quite a bit. I think he's been really, really effective for them. Last year was a tough year. We know he loves the area and everything and living in Kansas City. But yeah, there's out of that list, just because of age, he and probably I would say Felix are the two most likely. Like, I would put the lowest percentage of being
I do
back.
really like this conversation from the standpoint of it's guys that we just wouldn't, like, you think they're replaceable, but at the same time, Spags
Spags thinks they're less replaceable than us. That's how I felt like when they gave Nick Bolton a deal.
Yeah, Spags really likes Shamari Connor. He really likes Chris Roland Wallace, where if he's still there, do they run it back? Maybe it's obviously for one of those smaller deals, but do they sacrifice what would be a 3rd or 4th round selection on a corner for depth or a 5th round pick to keep Chris Roland Wallace instead, because he is what the Chiefs like, that reliability that's been in the system and all those other things? Because without question, the players on this list, the best player in terms of talent is Rashee Rice, hands down, easily, not even close.
Yep. Yes, but he's also the biggest liability.
Correct, which is why it's really interesting. Yeah,
it's so weird because from a team perspective, I'm not rooting against Rashee Rice having 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. But I will feel very uncomfortable, the position that will put Kansas City in if he does it. Yeah. If he goes out there and he has 10 touchdowns and 1,300 yards, I'm like, oh, damn it. They're going to pay him. I will be convinced they're going to pay him. And I'll be like, oh, God, can he stay out of trouble? Look, even like the comments, and I think they were a little out of context, but if you listen to Eric Bieniemy yesterday, Eric Bieniemy in his comments yesterday was like, he's hard-headed. He thinks he's doing a lot of things right. I have to stay on top of him a lot, right? Like, he's openly admitted that he's still kind of a pain in the ass young player who thinks they got it all figured out, which is not an uncommon wide receiver trait.
That's good for Rashee Rice, though. The fact that EB's back to get that out of him, whatever that is, or that feeling, is, I think, only good for Rashee Rice.
And EB even said, like, he meant that in a positive way.
Yeah.
He didn't actually mean it as a shot. We've had the Rashee Rice conversation so many times over the last year or so, and even
if he has a big year, we'll have it a bunch more.
Yeah, no, and I recognize that, and we will. And I'm just saying, once again, like, it's been on the record for a while. There
is no number.
There is no number for me, and you can say, "Oh, no, come on." No, I'm 100% serious about this. I think he's going to have a great year, but in February, the Chiefs can go to the Super Bowl, and Rashee Rice can have 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns. And I'm telling you, I'm not the GM, so who cares? But I would not give him a 3-year contract extension or a 4-year contract extension or anything like that. I think at that point, tons of fans would suddenly just have like the Men in Black, thing that wipes your memory and completely ignore everything else that's happened. I will not, but I'm not the GM, and I'm like you, where I think Brett Veach would convince himself that they could handle it.
If I were the Chiefs, there would be a number for me.
It's like weird. I don't want there to be a number of yards and touchdowns he gets.
There's a number on the contract and the guaranteed money.
Correct.
I don't trust the guy. Plain and simple. I think he's a hell of a football player. And for the 2026, I hope he has a great year. Truly do.
Well, yeah, I hope
he has a great year. And I think for his sake, if he does, he's going to earn money from somebody moving forward. I'm just saying the Chiefs don't have to be the team that hands him the check.
You wouldn't pay him 3 for 70.
Nope. Unless somehow you tell me like really specific language that they get him to agree to, where it's hey, you get a damn speeding ticket and we can cut you for $0. I mean, it would have to be something absurd like that.
I mean, it would have to be like something his agent wouldn't even be like, hey, you definitely shouldn't sign that.
But I would take, if you said over under 1,000 yards for Rashee Rice, I would take over that this year. I think he's going over.
Like I say, there's no number.
If he gets 1,208 touchdowns,
if it's under $25 million a year, I'll do it.
3 for 60, I think they would do it.
Yeah, now some people are just being unrealistic. This is not how the NFL works. Someone says, you're an idiot if you wouldn't extend him for 3 years at league minimum. He's getting more than league minimum. What are we talking about?
Look, I even think
let's be league minimum. Come on, guys. Rashee Rice, there's no world where he's signing a 3-year extension for $700,000 a year. What are we talking about?
I think bare minimum, if he finished the season with what we said, 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns, somebody will pay him 3 for 90, maybe more. Because here's just so you know, here's the wide receivers.
Yeah.
There are like 15 wide receivers making over $30 million. The kind of guys who make $25 million a year either got paid $1 million years ago or are like lower tier.
Devontae Smith, Jamison Williams.
They got paid a long time ago.
Yeah. He's going
those guys. Jacoby Myers makes $20 million a year.
If he has over 1,000 yards, he's going to be in for a huge payday. And again, you want the Chiefs to have that money tied up in that player.
Alec Pierce is making $28.5 million a year.
Someone says, you said no money, don't say what you don't mean. I think you guys can ask Cody and Drew, and I've been very clear for months on this. There is no money amount, no dollar amount. And yes, throwing out unrealistic scenarios, you texting in and saying, you wouldn't sign Rashee Rice for $700,000 a year. I also live in reality. That contract never on earth will exist for Rashee Rice.
If he does what you said, yes.
So stop. Drew, he can have 500 yards. He's getting more than $700,000 a year.
I agree.
So when I say there is no dollar amount, I assume we were living in like the world of reality, as in we know what we're talking about in the NFL, not playing some video game. You're not able to sign a receiver for $700,000 a year that has even 500 yards
I'm not
after
kidding.
a season. What are we talking about?
He could get hurt after one snap, get 0 receiving yards, and he'd get more than that.
Cody, you wouldn't do the 28.5 that Pierce got?
No. To me, that's where the risk is not worth it. One, I didn't think Pierce should have gotten that, so let's just start there.
Yeah.
And I understand that the numbers go up and everything changes, but I wouldn't have paid Pierce that. So that's also part of it, admittedly. But that Drew, he's got to be giving me below market rate, is the truth. If I'm taking the chance on you, you're coming back here, you think in 3 years you can get a massive, massive deal by just staying out of trouble, and doing the kind of things you need to do to actually do this right, well, then I'll pay you in 3 years. But if you're going to do that, you got to give me below market rate. You want market rate? Go play for the Jets. You want $30 million a year? That's fine.
Yeah, somebody will pay him. Somebody will.
Go play for some team who doesn't matter. Because I think the highest bidder typically in free agency is a team that's real on the fringe or bad. And they're trying to fix their problem in one thing.
This conversation, right? Like, this conversation also will change, I think, even for Chiefs fans, even those that are texting and wanting to sign him. In February, in this hypothetical, does this mean Cyrus Allen had a nice year too? Does it mean that Xavier Worthy took a lead?
Yeah.
That's also a huge part of this for a lot of fans. If I give you the scenario where Rashee Rice has 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns, but also Xavier Worthy takes a leap and he's an 850-yard guy, and Cyrus Allen has 550, but we feel pretty good about him, and then you still want to pay Rice? I would be pretty shocked if you would then also still want to pay Rice.
The only reason, though, to do that, though, and I think we talked about it a little bit, I think last week it was, that if Cyrus works out, if you look at collectively what the wide receiver room could be, if Xavier gets that, if they would have a top 5 wide receiver room in the league, period. And you're going to walk away. I think they'd be almost, I'm not going to say they'd be more inclined not to pay him, but I think they'd be just as inclined if Cyrus Allen didn't work out. Or wasn't that great this year, where I think if you know that if you paid Rashee, and if he, obviously the big caveat is he was healthy and he didn't get in trouble, you would have a top 5 wide receiver room for Patrick Mahomes, which is what everybody's kind of been asking for over the last couple of years. I think it will be just as hard for them to not pay him.
Yeah, the tricky part and why, one way or the other, they're going to have to do something after this season anyway, because Rice is not under contract after this year. Tyquan Thornton is, Cyrus Allen is, and that's it. I mean, that's essentially, right? I mean, that's it. Jalen Royals, if we want to get specific. Like, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, but again, it's like if Cyrus Allen has it, then it's a no-brainer. If Cyrus Allen has 200 yards and Xavier Worthy has 600 and Rashee Rice has 13, the Chiefs are going to feel like they have to pay Rice. Like, I can see a way in which organizationally they get trapped the way you and I have talked about quarterbacks for franchise, where they're like, well, what else are we going to do? Is there some other wide receiver available at 1,300 yards that we're not talking about?
The class is so good, though, where maybe you talk yourself into it. But the problem is, if Rashee Rice plays well and they make it to the Super Bowl, let's say, they're picking 31 or 32, you're missing out on most of the good ones anyways.
I think they would have to trade for a receiver or spend big money in free agency. And right now, the free agent wide receiver class looks like crap for 2027, depending on how the season goes. Things change. But right now, it doesn't look like it's going to be a great one. A lot of the guys that could be available, like Pickens, is not going to walk. They're going to the Cowboys will probably, if they don't sign him themselves, would probably tag and trade. People brought up like, what could the Chiefs tag and trade Rice at that point? It depends on the year he had. It gets a little dicey. What are you going to get back for him? No, a team would know they have to pay him top
How
dollar.
much would the tag be?
What was it this year, I guess, is the question.
Wasn't it like 30 something? Was it 30? Did it get to 30 this year?
2020.
Because I'm just wondering.
28 or 26.
27.2.
So, which is above your 25 million a year anyways, Cody. Like, yeah.
Yeah, because that's what more than the top 10
your
make.
number. Yeah.
So we'll see how it plays. I mean, this will be a conversation that will come up later in the year again. I know it will, because hopefully Rashee Rice is having a nice season for the Chiefs. If he doesn't, then nobody's going to want him back anyway. So,
meanwhile, the Chiefs actually made a signing. They signed a new offensive lineman. It's all over, Gold. Trey Smith's not playing anymore. Simmons is hurt forever.
Stop.
Look,
Stop.
Obviously, I don't think that's the case. I'm being sarcastic. This signing to me is so no-brainer. I assume that it's like, well, maybe he was going to get cut, but maybe not. And for a 7th-round pick, we can make sure that if you get cut, we didn't have to win in the waiver wire. Or is he some superstar guard? No, but their guard depth stunk. It was one of the worst in the league. They were one injury away from having to start Hunter Norzad, who I think they'd prefer to cut. So that was not a good position to be in. They saw a guy who has played in 70 games-ish in the NFL, between tackle or guard or a million other things. It's a veteran guard who they think they can trust. This, to me, is one of the most no-brainer things that only has to do with the guys of like Caliendo and Norzad. And when Benson started playing right guard backup, when Trey Smith went down, we knew the depth was no good. They were taking a guy who had never played guard and said, please figure it out because we hate our guards so much. This is a deal they maybe had to do, honestly, to protect themselves this season.
Yeah, their depth stinks on the offensive line. It does. And so this is a nice move, a guy that has experience in the NFL. It's an opportunity in case Trey Smith does end up missing time and you don't feel good about Caliendo and Norzad. I think that's exactly right. I think that's all this is. This doesn't mean that they're worried that Trey Smith's not playing week 1. And Trey Smith's been practicing this week, by the way. We'll hear from Andy Reid.
Simmons hasn't.
But Simmons hasn't. But this, the only way this is related to that is if they think Simmons is missing multiple games. You don't go out and make a trade just because somebody's not playing 1 week, right? Like that's the other thing. Like even if you wanted to say it was related to Simmons in the back, that would mean they think he's going to be out for weeks. You wouldn't go and even though it's a 7th-round pick, you wouldn't give up a 7th-round pick for 1 game of needing somebody to provide depth. But they need depth across the whole year. This entire offensive line, there is very little chance, not zero, very little chance that the entire O-line plays together all year without somebody missing a game. It's just the math would tell us across NFL that doesn't really happen. There's maybe 1 team a year, if that has their starting O-line wire to wire.
But this is why I think, so while I think it's not about Simmons not being ready for game 1, I do think it is about Simmons a little bit in the sense that, what is it? Izudu? How does he say it? Izudu. He has played more snaps in his NFL career at left tackle than at guard. And he's only played the left side of the line, left tackle, left guard. When both injuries happened, and they had to make Jalen Moore left tackle and Khalil Benson right tackle. They're like, this stinks. So what I think is going to happen is if anything were to happen with Simmons and he's not available, it's no more of this shuffling around of the deck chairs in the Titanic, and it would be him. It would be the new guy they just traded for playing left tackle because he would be the most experienced left tackle or close to the most experienced left tackle they'd have available rather than Jalen Moore. The guy's only played on the left side. So I assume it'd be about keeping Khalil Benson and keeping them on the right side of the line rather than having to shuffle everybody around in order to do it. That doesn't mean I think that Simmons isn't going to be available. Although back injuries with left tackle, Nate Taylor told us that day 1. He's like, anytime I see back injury with left tackle, it worries me. That was like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. The guy still hasn't practiced. Like, and I always look at it, I know they treat him different. Gold, if this were the regular season, do you know we'd be talking? Like, it's the same thing. Do you know we'd be talking about this injury? When's he coming back? He's missed 2 weeks. He's missed Indy and when's he coming back?
Yeah,
3 weeks, a month.
I
know they treat him different in preseason.
Yeah, we've gone back and forth during training camp up in St. Joe. I don't think we can just do that, like play that game. I just disagree with that. I guess I disagree with that because I think we brought that up with Mansour Delane or Trey Smith or whatever, and I was like, well, if it's the regular season, they're not going to be as cautious necessarily with holding guys out of practice. It's just not the same way. So my assumption would be, it's not like Josh Simmons would have been missing 2 games already because it's preseason. They hold guys back all the time. They're way more cautious. So I don't think we can play the correlation game of, well, Simmons has missed 2 weeks of training camp / off-season practice. That means it would have been like if he missed 2 games in the NFL season. I don't think that's
what's fair, half?
No, I told you if Simmons is not back at practice next Friday, I'm getting very concerned.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
because right now he's not missing. He probably wouldn't even he's not missing anything in this 3rd preseason game. Not yet. There's no reason to push anything yet.
Would he be practicing though? Would he be practicing if that were the case? I don't know, but it's just that part.
Yeah, without knowing the exact back injury, I guess it's hard for either of us to answer. I would say, if there was a game on Sunday, if it's as minor and day to day as they said, then there's plenty of times where the player would only practice on the Friday. So that'd be today. Today's their Friday. Because they play Friday, right? Today's the Friday for the Chiefs in their world, their football schedule world. Today is essentially Friday.
Yeah. And so that part just, I don't know. It's just really tough I think that it's not nothing. Maybe it's not 2 games worth gold, but if somebody misses a month, right? They miss all of August training camp. It's at least half of what they would miss in the regular season. I think there's a number in which Simmons would have missed a game with this injury. I think that's at least safe to say. Simmons would have at least missed 1 game. If he goes all the way till next Friday not practicing, he probably would have missed at least 2, even though it's only 3. It's 3 weeks of real time. Maybe he misses 2 games or a game and a half where he's questionable going into the second. And so, this signing, they needed this whether Simmons was hurt or not, though, is the truth. That's why I don't think it's just about that injury, is that they needed a backup guard, tackle guy anyway, just based on the idea that they didn't have it. They didn't have that guy. They didn't have anybody they wanted to do it. Someone said, God, can the season start already? Please.
I hope
Alex
so,
and I
man.
are more than happy to talk about regular season games that matter for real. We're 2 weeks from
almost
today.
there.
Almost, man.
2 weeks from today, there will be an NFL game. This weekend, there will be college football.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We are almost there.
I cannot wait. Trust me. Yeah, you think I want to continue to have the conversations about the 3rd string offensive lineman? You think I want to talk about that?
Hypotheticals are fun until they're not.
Now there are scenarios where this move ends up mattering. Hopefully not, but trust me, we would rather talk about how the Chiefs did against the Denver Broncos and what it means for their next game against the Colts and all that. We will get there very soon. But I am excited. You mentioned college football. I'm excited this Saturday to be sitting at a sports book at Circa in Vegas and just sit there and watch.
Are you going to go to Memphis UNLV? You going to try?
We'll talk about it Friday. We'll talk about it on Friday's show more. I have not bought tickets. I'm torn. Do I just want to sit at the sports book or go to the Vegas UNLV Memphis game? I don't know.
I pulled off I did a sicko bet. So college football technically starts tomorrow.
Who's playing then?
FCS teams, and I believe.
Well, then we got to predict our champion tomorrow. If there's football,
I think Pitt State and Pitt State also plays maybe on Thursday against Ferris State. That actually is a good matchup. But I
can't watch FCS though on August 27th.
I put a bet in for tomorrow's FCS games.
You've been out here watching preseason football. You can't watch FCS.
I'm good. I'm not that desperate.
Preseason's pretty
I don't
desperate.
Even watch preseason.
Have you watched any preseason football that wasn't the Chiefs?
The Hall of Fame game.
Okay, but just that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you tuned into some Cardinals
I watched,
Lions preseason game, I'd be like, man, it's worse than FCS.
I guess Sunday night I watched the first quarter of Cam Ward against Seattle.
That's worse than FCS than me.
No, it's not.
If I had to choose between the two.
See, I disagree because FCS I know I'm never going to talk about. I know whether it's this show or my show on Saturdays on Westwood One, I'm going to talk about Cam Ward this year at some point. I'm going to like on our show Saturday we talked about preseason games because we're talking about the Shador Sanders, Deshaun Watson.
You don't think you're ever talking Maine Towson on the show?
I don't think that'll. I don't think
Ferris. Black Bears.
I don't think Ferris State will make our Saturday Westwood One show.
Drew has mentioned Ferris State multiple times on this show. I want to point that out.
And they're not even D1, they're D2.
He has said that name out loud multiple times on this show.
That's because Trinidad Chambliss transferred from there. So, so in part, it is due to him.
And because you covered him or something when you were. They were like a great D2 team when you were covering D2. I remember you mentioning it specifically.
West Florida was playing Ferris State.
Florida.
Hey, shout out to the Argos though. They just moved to D1. They're one of the teams I bet on.
We're in bink football territory now. We're in deep.
Yes, we are. We are way deep. I've got a 4-leg FCS parlay for tomorrow.
That is pretty sick.
We're here, boys.
4-leg FCS parlay.
Let's go.
Let that sink in.
Let's go.
Up next, let's get to what's trending. We'll also talk about what they need from a certain draft class, and we have our answer on who is calling the opening drive for a college team this year.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
We were just talking college football. I don't think it starts till Saturday. Maybe for some people it starts tomorrow, but I do know college football Saturdays are already packed with reasons to get excited. And this season, FanDuel's giving you even more. Make this your most rewarding college football season ever with FanDuel. From the first kickoff of the day to the final whistle at night, there are more ways to get in on every matchup. Back your favorite team, build a same-game parlay, bet team props, or make your picks on the biggest games of the weekend. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. Along the way, you can keep an eye on the FanDuel app for even more ways to get rewarded throughout the season. Because when every Saturday brings another slate of games, FanDuel gives you more ways to make every week count. So get ready for big games, bigger Saturdays, and your most rewarding season ever only on FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/local. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Men, erectile dysfunction can affect much more than just your sex life. It can create stress in relationships, leading to feelings of anxiety or embarrassment, and impact your overall confidence and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and we specialize in treating men's sexual health issues to help men find solutions that fit their individual needs. ED is a frustrating condition, and many men suffer for years without seeking treatment. But the good news is that if you're like most men, we have the answer. Our licensed medical providers will evaluate your specific medical situation and recommend a plan designed for you. And these advanced medical therapies work, with treatments having success rates of well over 90%, which means you and the one you love can have great sex again without the fear and worry of ED. You can even last up to an hour or more, and you may just find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Flu season is here. Get your flu shot today at your local Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment is necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. That's right, a 20-cent fuel saver. Get your flu shot when it's convenient for you. Schedule online or just stop by your Hy-Vee pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Help your family stay healthy. Get your flu shot and get a 20-cent fuel saver only at Hy-Vee. See store for details. Some restrictions apply.
School's back in session and we're all busy now, and that's why it's hard to get to the grocery store. But you could get your groceries delivered in as little as 30 minutes. That's why I love Hy-Vee's new Get It Faster service. When you're crunched for time and need something fast, Hy-Vee to the rescue. Just download the Hy-Vee app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping for me. Choose the Get It Faster option, and your groceries will be ready in a snap. Try it for yourself. Get It Faster delivery or pickup only at Hy-Vee.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event.
Get up to 0% on select 2026 Subaru models for up to 72 months.
And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City.
0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru. The Subaru A Lot to Love event.
VIN number 4S4SLD L61T3038472. Based on 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderson Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Go to bagkc.com.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
I love a girls' weekend, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin, thanks to Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
You can usually find me in the kitchen, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm still in the mix with Skyrizi to treat my joint symptoms.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe at 4 months.
Or if you're an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Futures Week starts August 31st with everyone's NFL predictions. This is Kansas City's FM sports station. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number one on What's Trending, the Royals looking to make it 10 in a row tonight against the Blue Jays. They are the first AL team since the 1989 White Sox to win 8 or more straight after entering the streak at least 24 games below 500. Royals, Blue Jays tonight, 6:07. Once again here on 96.5 The Fan. Randy Dobnak gets the start. Vern's on deck show, 5 o'clock. Vern will join us here in about 30 minutes.
Let's get it to double digits, 10-game winning streak. And then at the least, I'd be like, well, 10 more just like that. and then we can start having a real conversation. Next up on What's Trending, not surprising, but over at ESPN.com, our guy Nate Taylor is reporting that Patrick Mahomes is not expected to play in the preseason game on Friday. We said that was certainly the vibe Mahomes was giving off yesterday as he met with the media. Andy Reid will actually speak to the media today at 1. So we'll get a better sense of it. Josh Simmons still did not practice yesterday. Trey Smith has been back at practice for the Chiefs so far. This will be their final practice before their final preseason game, obviously Friday at Arrowhead.
NFL news when it comes to some other injuries, Cody. Buccaneers first-round pick Ruben Bain suffered an AC sprain, but it's said to be, quote, nothing serious. He's expected to be ready week 1 against Drew's Cincinnati Bengals.
As good as he's looked, that'd have been a real bummer if it turns out he was going to miss several weeks. But you don't like getting dinged up before the season starts, but at least you're pretty much all the way through preseason, so you got the work in that you wanted to there. Next up on What's Trending, debut patches are coming to the NFL, Gold.
Yes.
Beginning this season,
yes.
All NFL rookies will wear a debut patch on their jersey. That Fernando Mendoza one will be a massive chase, obviously, for a number of guys. But when you think about all these rookies or these little known players, it's going to be way more patches on the NFL end than it ever was for baseball. Do you know how many rookies in the NFL actually put a jersey on versus in Major League Baseball? So there'll be way more of it. There'll obviously be some big chases, but I imagine as a big card guy, you're excited.
Yeah, this is cool. For those that don't know what we're talking about, basically...
I just assume at this point.
Topps recently, over the last couple of years, started having these debut patches on baseball players when they make a debut and NBA players. And after their first game, the patch is taken off and cut into a card, and that card becomes a chase card. So that was a big deal with the Cooper Flag, his debut patch with the Mavs, and what Cody was saying about Mendoza. It'll be whenever Mendoza makes his first start, or maybe just, I don't know how they'll do it, Cody, if it'll be a start for Mendoza or just his first game as in a uniform. I'm not sure how they're characterizing debut, but basically that'll be a big chase card.
And that costs for next year,
Cyrus Allen, assuming they're doing it for everybody, Cyrus Allen should have a debut patch, depending on the criteria. I don't know if they're doing a cutoff if it's only certain positions, but that'd be pretty
Jeremiah
cool.
Smith next year, Arch Manning. I mean, yeah, that'd be crazy.
That is what's trending here on Cody and Gold. As you said, coming up in 25 minutes, we'll talk to Josh Vernier. People on the text line are asking Drew about his parlay. They want Drew's exact parlay. I think
they
he
want
gave
to
it
bet
out.
it with you.
I think he gave it out. Drew is betting on.
I have not given it out to anybody.
Drew's betting on the FCS 1-800-GAMBLER. Don't forget, 1-800-GAMBLER is a number you can use.
Do you want to know what it is?
I do. I guess I do. Yep. Fine. We'll be in Vegas. Maybe we'll tail you. I don't know.
Money line, New Hampshire Wildcats. They're playing Albany. They're minus. The total is plus 209. I boosted it to plus 300.
Okay.
New Hampshire to win is minus 344. Villanova to beat William and Mary, minus 374. Austin P, the Governors, to beat Gardner Webb is minus 476. And then my team that I used to cover, UWF, West Florida, plays Southern Illinois. It's in Pensacola, though, plus 109 to cover 20.5 points.
So they're all favorites except for them.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Good luck.
What? Okay. I mean,
plus 209, plus 320.
Are you watching those games, or are you just blindly betting? Can you even watch these FCS games?
ESPN Plus
is Bink hosting a watch party for these?
No, he's not. Bink doesn't know that I made this.
He does
bet.
now. He does now.
He will know.
Bink's always listening.
Yeah, he is. Oh, we'll get a text here momentarily.
But yeah, they're basically all on ESPN Plus tomorrow.
Okay.
So I'll tune into maybe one or two. I'll pick one. Actually, I'll watch the UWF one.
All right.
It's on a 6. There we go.
ESPN Plus. Oof.
That's where all these are. So Gold, if you want to look at games that matter, if you want to watch your football games that matter,
Saturday
tomorrow.
starting at 9 a.m. Games that matter. North Carolina, TCU, a real,
correct, yeah,
real college football game.
Yeah, that one will be on ESPN, regular ESPN.
That's in Ireland, 9 a.m. Vegas time, baby. Let's go Saturday morning. It's my motivation to wake up and not sleep in.
There you go.
Yeah, just get in there and watch football. It's better than preseason football.
Of course it is.
I think we all agree
Teams
that
that play in that doubling game, by the way, not good.
Yeah,
Florida
usually lower scoring game too with the weather. But yeah, usually there's a travel.
I meant just the season too. Like Florida State lost in that game. They went 2-10 that year. K-State underwhelmed last year.
But the travel usually is the problem.
Yeah.
It's like a hangover for weeks after.
Bill Belichick in Dublin. Well, what can go wrong?
In fairness, K-State used that as an excuse all year, and the other team they played won a bunch right after.
I mean, the same thing happened with Florida State. They played Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech went on to do good things. Whoever loses in that game is not well off.
Well, we're tired and sad, so it was hard to play after we came back. You know, the other guys were just tired. We were also sad.
I wonder if we'll have any family members fighting in the parking lot after the game.
Family fun.
I wonder if we'll have that after this year's game.
Ooh, that was bad. I forgot about that. That
wasn't a good.
That was probably, in retrospect.
I felt bad for.
Should have taken that as a sign of things to come, huh?
I told you I felt bad for Avery Johnson. Honestly,
yeah.
I felt terrible.
I
felt terrible for him. Yeah, it wasn't him. It's his family was embarrassing him at the time.
My family's embarrassed me lots of times, but I've embarrassed them too. So my family.
Anytime I hear family, now that's
of course
the first thing that comes to mind.
Yes,
Brian Kelly.
Immediately.
He's doing. We talked about this a month or so ago. Brian Kelly's working for CBS Sports. I think is that right? He's in studio.
Yep.
Him and who is it? There's somebody else. Doug Peterson. I think.
Oh, really? He's doing college football?
I think Doug Peterson, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. Yeah, Doug Peterson also joined CBS Sports as a college football analyst. He'll be on CBS Sports HQ for the 2026
Dougie P?
season. Yes, he's doing some TV work.
I will say I was laughing pretty hard because yesterday it was announced that Kareem Hunt was going for a workout at the Lions. They had also brought in
Isaiah Pacheco,
Clyde Edwards-Helaire for a workout, and they brought in earlier in August, and they also had signed Isaiah Pacheco. And I had sent out a tweet that said, who the hell in Detroit loves the Chiefs so much? John Dorsey's there. Dorsey is a member of the front office there. Okay. And so, maybe that guy. I was like, you just in love with former players? Crazy.
Since Hollywood's not going to make it with the Eagles or whatever, he might as well bring Hollywood over too.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Crazy times. Crazy. But I don't know. It's college football, once they start playing teams that are playing at least Power 4 or fringe Power 4 or could be in the college football playoff tour, you can get me on Saturday with these are two teams who technically have a chance to be the 16th team. I meant, or
so will you
team.
lock in week 1 on Sunday when there's no NFL games, of course, but Wisconsin plays Notre Dame at Lambeau?
I'll probably watch part of that. I don't ignore college football. I just don't watch it as much. I can't watch it.
I'm excited for Saturday, even this Saturday and the next week, college football. I just not watching FCS, but I'll.
Yeah, the FCS is understandably the line where you stop.
The difference probably is for me at this point is Sundays, right? We talk a lot about it on the show. It eats up a good chunk of the day. Mm-hmm. I will work around football games, right? If I got to do stuff at the 3:00 slate, I got to do stuff at the 3 o'clock time when the Chiefs aren't playing, right? So I'm not saying I won't not watch football sometimes, depending on. But on Saturdays, if I'm home and college football's on, I watch it. But I will just do anything else with my schedule. I will not just carve out all day on Saturday to watch college football. That's probably the difference for me.
That's fair. I mean, on Sunday, it's pretty much start to finish. I'm parked in front of a TV or at Arrowhead or whatever, right? Watching every game, Sunday Night Football, etc. For a college game, if there's a marquee game, I'll try to make sure I'm there. But I'm way more likely from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock to go do whatever I need to do, right?
For week 2,
whereas an NFL Sunday from 3 to 5, no, I'm watching the game.
Well, and from week 2 for you, since the Border Wars on Friday
night,
Saturday opens up where if you got to do something, then 100% you got. I mean, the both obviously because not that we don't talk college football, but KU-MU is on Friday. That one you'll be tuned in for that one, and then it opens up for you guys. On
People on the text line 913-586-7965. Someone asking about Vegas. They want to know, will it result in some pleasure? I don't know, Drew.
There's a greater chance that it does result in some pleasure. It depends on if you're seeing a tour guide again.
Pay for that pleasure?
No.
If you're seeing a tour guide again, Gold, then maybe there is a greater chance.
I don't think I'm going on any tours on this trip.
Have you posted? I mean, you have been posting that we're going to Vegas. She hasn't.
I don't think she's
that
viewed
was the
my.
Grand Canyon. The fact that that all happened.
I don't think she's viewed my stories in a long time. I'd have to scroll.
She might hit the
through
old unfollow list.
Oh, let me see. Does she? Let me see.
Or
hold on.
Or she finds out that you're there again, and then there's a text that pops back up, Cody. Yeah, there's one of those. Wait, you're back in town?
No way after what happened at the bottom of the elevator.
She still follows me.
I still don't understand that whole part of the story.
So, like,
what do you mean?
Drew, to be clear,
I know that you did something, but I don't get what you did.
Okay, so
that you did something.
We know Alex hooked up with her. Fine. Alex and I had
3 years ago, by the way.
Alex and I had been like the key part of the story is timing. Sometimes is weird. Alex and I had been separated as a group for hours, maybe 3 hours. Drew, long time. So we knew that they had left in the same location. I went with a different group. We were doing other things.
Yeah.
I had forgotten that Alex was talking. I had taken the one photo near the bar. We jokey ha. Thought we got enough for the show. It didn't really matter what happened after that. Alex and I were separate from each other for like 3 hours. We're drinking, doing other things, whatever. Then, out of pure happenstance, out of all the times we were choosing to go up the elevator to get a pair of pants for a friend, she came down the elevator by herself. The person I was with started saying, "Where's Alex? Where's Alex? Where did he go? Have you seen him lately?" And then I had immediately sent Alex text and said, ran into, I guess I don't want to say her name. I can't remember if he said it on the air.
Yes.
Ran into her. She, so just got the timing of it is part
Cody
of it.
was like, "Are you okay?" I said, "I'm doing fine."
I'm doing fine. I said, "Are you okay?" She seemed.
Then I went back
hurried.
out and hung out on Fremont Street.
Yeah.
And everyone moves on with their lives. That's it.
Yeah.
Never talked since.
She's probably never thought about it since. Or at least I hope not. I hope for her sake she's.
But no tours are planned.
No.
Okay.
On this trip. Now we're back in 5 weeks again, so who knows?
Are we going back for sure?
95% sure. We're back there for the Chiefs.
You might as well get like property out there.
I mean, Circa's a hell of a place to
point.
stay. If you guys are going out for Chiefs Raiders week, join us at Circa. We'll be there.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, honestly, it's such an easy road trip for all.
It's going to be hot for you guys, though. You guys are going to be up at
109 in Vegas. It's a dry heat, though, so it's all good.
I'll be inside except for if I'm in a pool.
Yeah.
It's pretty much how I'd that's my plan. Inside except for in water.
Did you see, we talked about this for the last couple of weeks, that Akron was doing the contest.
Yeah.
That if you bought season tickets, you got entered to call the first drive of their season against Robert Morris. And there was the finalist named, and we said last week, look, Big Cat from Barstool, it's smart for Akron to have them in the top 10 because it keeps people talking about Akron football, and Big Cat was making a big deal about it. But hey, hopefully some actual fan wins the contest. Well, some guy got a phone call yesterday and found out he is calling the opening drive for Akron football.
But you and the world know that you are the offensive coordinator of the game. Let's go, Marty!
Marty. That's exciting.
It's
my boss shared it on LinkedIn, so I was getting business contacts are reaching out, friends, family. I mean, everybody's just super excited about it.
Awesome.
Wishing me good luck. I mean, it's been awesome. And even if I hadn't got it, it would have been an awesome experience. Obviously, winning the whole thing is just awesome. Super excited for it.
I love that you're going to be able to work with Coach Moorhead. I think he's very much looking forward to mentoring you. I can't wait for you to meet the young men on this team, especially the guys on that offense. You're going to be calling those plays. You're going to need to get to know these guys. You have to report for duty Friday morning, 9 a.m. Be ready to rock and roll.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome.
Looking forward to it.
Could he sound any less excited?
I mean, I will
Like,
say
I'm
the
hearing
guy
this and
was
I'm like-
making it kind of uncomfortable or weird, but yeah, that guy did not sound as excited as I
I
would
thought
have
he would have been, oh, this is awesome. This is so cool and everything like that. He was like, oh, this is great. You know?
You think he should have been more excited? Gold, I think that it's more than fair. The guy seemed a little kind of ho-hum about it.
You get to call plays for a D1 football team. I know that it's Akron, but still.
Did you want him screaming into the phone?
Kind of
No.
like a radio contest winner from like
no,
a
but
TV
at
show.
least something like where you get like a once in a lifetime experience that you would never touch as a regular.
He's an older guy, I think, is what it
Come
wasn't.
on.
Like
I think
if it
his
was
name's his Marty. I think
it
his name.
was.
Come on, Marty.
If it was Big Cat or just a younger fan that won, I think he would have seen more excitement. This is some guy that he was talking about being told on LinkedIn that he should enter the contest. This guy's just all business. It sounds like, you know.
Yeah, it does sound like that. All business. That's right.
Fernando Mendoza won the contest, basically.
But that's the worst.
That's who won.
I'd rather him
Guy's
actually
gonna
be
call
Fernando Mendoza
7
because at least we'd get a speech. You know, let me hear the motivational speech for the guys or something like that.
Gonna call a run on 2nd and 10, run up the middle. Gonna be boring. I want somebody excited person would call a flea flicker, double reverse, a hook and ladder.
I hope there's at least
A
one
deep
trick
shot.
play in there. I mean, again, the coach gets to still get final say on the play. So my guess is they'll let him have one trick play. And if I'm Robert Morris, it should be like the scout on that first drive though as well. Like just be ready for anything, basically, kind of thing. And they got this other guy. If you're even though the head coach is still ultimately calling the plays, if you're the defensive coordinator for Robert Morris and you know theoretically, at least publicly, it's a fan calling plays against you, even if it's not really fully that. You know, you're hoping for the best drive. You can't let them march down the field on you and score.
So that game against Robert Morris is week 2, September 12th, and it's on ESPN Plus. I might tune in at 2:30 just to have it on the phone just to see what happens.
And yes, for the texter wondering, no, that's the head coach,
Joe Moorhead.
That's his real name. Yep. Now the show has gone off the
Former
rails.
coordinator at Oregon, yes.
The text
His
line.
name's not Richard. It's not, like it's not that
Yeah,
bad.
it's like Rich Hill.
Yeah, it's
Not a Rich Hill situation.
It's not that bad. I don't think.
Depends on how you say it, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I'd have been pretty excited. I think Drew, but I think you would have toned it down knowing that maybe they were recording it.
Yeah, I would.
I think you would have sounded a little more reserved than you probably would have been in your head,
Yeah, because I wouldn't, obviously you don't go overboard, I suppose, but I thought there'd be some, no way, that is so awesome. I'm really looking forward to this sort of thing, as opposed to, oh, that's really exciting. That's the way that it sounded to me. It's like, man, I thought he would be, I thought he'd be a little bit more excited, I guess. I don't know. There are other teams who are doing a similar, not like this where you get to call plays, but South Alabama and I believe FIU have done the take this school to the national championship in the new video game, and if you screenshot it and send us a picture, you're entered in to win a fan experience that's unlike anything else that anybody gets at the school, and then they give away secondary prizes like a season tickets to the next year.
Are you trying for this, Drew? Are you working on your dynasty trying to get tickets
for the South Alabama Jaguars?
You'd go to a game. I know you would.
Yeah, I think it might be worth the while. Actually,
have we gotten you to all 3 locals yet? Have you gone to?
He still hasn't been in the new booth.
I haven't been in the new booth. Part of me wants to wait. I want to go this year, but part of me wants to wait until the full thing is built. But I think I need to go. Mizzou, I have not been to.
Have you been to the old booth?
No.
Okay. I was just trying to figure out.
I've not been to a KU football game. The only team I've been to and seen is K-State. Haven't been to a Mizzou game yet. I'm hoping to go for the...
You could knock both of them out on one night.
I could technically do that.
See both locals.
I could technically do that. I think
2 of the 3.
I think the Mizzou game that I'll go to, that I want to go to, is maybe when they play Texas.
Yeah, that'd be a hell of an atmosphere.
Sorry to the Mizzou fans who are probably going to lose that game, but I want to see those guys play.
We can get back into what they need out of the 2026 draft class in just a minute. Can I ask what level of anger I'm allowed to have over a driving situation yesterday, since we got a couple minutes before we talk to Vern? I was...
None, by the way. You're the one that's using cruise control constantly.
I almost never honk or flip people off, and they got both.
Let's
go down, middle finger.
Wait. You rolled your window down just to stick the middle finger out the window?
Yeah, that guy saw it. We made direct eye contact.
Whoa. What
I
happened?
was driving on 35 northbound, if anybody's been there, in the Northland, and I had passed the Antioch exit heading towards Shoto. And in driving up there, Shoto is an exit-only lane. And you got to be careful. Traffic backs up a little bit there on 35. So, you can't just be going 65 in the exit-only lane because there's always some idiot who knows that lane ends and is trying to skirt ahead of some of the traffic. I assume this person was a part of it. So we're driving at a normal speed. He's going 45. I'm going 45. There's a little bit of traffic. We're just cruising along, plenty of distance between us. He, at the last second in the triangle part, right? Like where it's not technically a lane, decides to hit his brakes as hard as possible, get over at the last minute to stay on the highway rather than get off the thing. Okay. So I'm already annoyed. And then I look over at this guy, and I swear to God, he is eating food out of a bowl with a spoon. And I'm like, all right, jackass, I can't help any of this. And so I rolled my window down, and I loudly proclaimed F you, and I gave him the middle finger. He's going to get someone killed out here. He must have been eating cereal or spaghetti or something. It was a bowl and spoon in his hand. Eating in traffic. That's an egregious
Why would you flip off Bink? That doesn't make any sense.
He's not out here eating in the car, is he?
Oh, my goodness. So you roll down the window, though, to get
that's crazy.
That's another level. Like I get the honking in the middle finger.
I wasn't going to do that, and I looked. I was just going to do the normal
but
middle
you
finger through the
rolled
glass.
your window down.
And you yelled at him as you drove by? He had a bowl and a spoon.
Road rage, Cody. Road rage.
He had a bowl with this. You can't eat food with silverware in the car.
I agree.
In a moving car as the driver.
You took matters into your own hands, or you made the.
Somebody says you eat spaghetti with a spoon. It could have been a fork. It looked like a spoon to me.
Oh wow!
Still, we're in traffic.
Someone says I share this. Our guy True Green Thumb says a thumbs down hits way harder than a bird. Just give him a thumbs down.
If we were fully stopped in traffic, but I only had a few seconds to garner his attention.
If you have personally been flipped off by Cody Tapp, please call in to 913-586-7965.
I might use the horn on the car 8 times a year. Like, I mean, it's a very low, maybe less, very low frequency.
No, look, I'm not saying. I had it coming. I'm not saying you were wrong to flip him off. I'm just shocked by the window. Okay, I flipped somebody off probably like 3 weeks ago or whatever driving. Okay, I'm not saying that's not the issue. I'm just shocked.
It was the
you
intention.
rolled the window down.
Out the window.
Yeah.
Like, this person's gonna know I flipped him off.
Now, I don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yelled at them and honked the horn.
What are you eating out of a bowl while driving?
It was crazy.
Yeah, I'm
pretty sure that's in an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's like a TV plot line. Nobody actually eats food with a bowl and spoon or fork in the car. Have you ever eaten something that required silverware in the car while driving?
No, while driving, no.
I don't think even while not driving. Silverware food is not car food. If it requires silverware, it's not for the car, right?
Yeah, someone said you should have given him a little bit of, a little bit of the cadence, Cody. You should have done that and see what he would have done. While you roll down the window and see if he would have responded. Maybe you would have got him to move over quicker.
A couple of people said they had it coming. Other people just saying, "What's wrong with you, Cody?"
Someone
said that's called a zipper merge. No, it's not when the lane ends. That's not what a zipper merge is. A zipper merge is when there's a lane closed for construction and they intentionally want to close. Not you're just driving in a lane that ends.
Someone wants to know, would you lose your job if you had it on video? He probably got it on video. Radio personality gives bird.
I don't think so.
No, it makes for some great content. Some great content, honestly.
And if you happen to be the person listening,
Someone said they work for a local trucking company and they see people eating soup all the time.
Soup? Ooh. That is legitimately the worst food you could ever
Also, just going to spill it all over your lap.
Yeah, soup and cereal, I would say. No, but I think you could,
soup is the worst.
Somebody mentioned Panda Express. Like, if you have that, or like if you're eating Chipotle and you're in the passenger seat, I could see them using silverware.
Look, you guys know I love Chipotle. I don't eat it while I'm driving. I've ate in my car. I don't eat it while driving.
I'm talking about if you're in the passenger seat.
I do not think you should eat a single food in the car that requires silverware.
Even in the passenger.
You shouldn't be eating a Chipotle bowl. And if it requires silverware, the amount of mess likely is far too significant. You shouldn't be eating Panda Express. You shouldn't be eating your pad thai.
No, see, I think
if
we're
driving
in
the passenger seat.
But if we're on a road trip to Springfield to visit our favorite bar, and on the way, I want to have a Chipotle bowl while I'm in the passenger seat, I don't think there's a problem with that.
That's no good.
Because we know we're not stopping for wings anymore down there.
It's only handheld foods. Car foods are only the ones.
But isn't so? I would argue if you got a Chipotle bowl, that's cleaner than you eating the burrito in the car.
Of course,
handheld.
It is absolutely.
I think both are
the burrito,
egregious car choices.
Drew's correct on that, though. You bite into a burrito, there's way more chance of making a mess than just using a spoon and eating out of the rice bowl.
I would think so.
I would hope so. Unless you're just.
It depends on the person.
How are you eating your food?
I'll be honest. This is really dependent
Someone says,
on.
is applesauce acceptable, Cody?
What? No.
Just eating applesauce randomly in the car? What are you, a child?
I gotta say, that's like serial killer behavior. I'm really concerned.
On the
Like,
A16.
if I drove next to Alex in the car and I just saw him eat a bowl of cinnamon applesauce or whatever, like, oh God, Alex is going through something.
I think I'd be even more concerned if you're using a spoon for the applesauce than like the kids' version of like the
Like a pouch.
You're just in there with a pouch getting the applesauce.
That would be a little weird.
All right,
Sorry to sidetrack us.
just a little bit.
The whole half hour was sidetracked. It's okay.
Let's talk to Vern. Let's talk some Royals baseball. Talk about the Royals
Back
who are
on
winning, have won 9 in a row, going for 10 in a row. We'll do that, plus the random question of the day.
This is Cody and Gold. Tune in to hear the play-by-play with Mitch, Danon, and Kling all season long on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Cody and Gold is brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
The summer heat can wear us all out, or maybe you're just finding yourself more irritable, more tired, and not because somebody was eating food with a bowl and spoon. You don't feel right? That might be a sign of low testosterone. 1 in 4 men has low testosterone. It affects energy, sex drive, motivation, mood, and more. And so if you just haven't been feeling yourself, especially if you're over the age of 40, you should get looked at Low T Center. You can book a free testosterone test and get real answers from experienced providers. They can handle GLP-1s, they can do peptides, and so many other things over there as well, making sure that you take care of your health going forward. So don't spend another day wondering why you don't feel like yourself, and instead do something about it over at Low T Center with that free testosterone test. Visit fixmylowt.com to schedule that free T test. That's fixmylowt.com.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Danon Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
One contractor, all things parking lot. That's who they are over at Gann Asphalt and Concrete, a locally owned and operated company who is ready to take on that project for you. Whether it be commercial paving services, asphalt services, or any large-scale project. The first thing a client sees about your business is the parking lot, and Gann Asphalt and Concrete is ready to make sure it gives the right first impression. Trust a locally owned and operated company who is ready to do that work for you. Give them a call, 816-688-3512, or check them out at GannAsphalt.com.
Hop in a John Deere Gator XUV for a day's work. Let's see what's on the to-do list. There goes the tree. And the fence. Not a problem, because you've got a cargo box filled with solutions. Up to 4,000 pounds of towing capacity, and you're ready to roll.
The power's out!
Here we go again. The Gator XUV, built for every kind of workday. Learn more at johndeere.com/Gator XUV. Nothing runs like a deer.
Hey, it's Bubba Wallace from 2311 Racing. You know what feels like forever? Sitting on a plane waiting for takeoff. Good thing I've got Chumba Casino. With daily boost and social casino games on tap, this is the kind of fun that makes time fly. Why not turbocharge your downtime? Play now at ChumbaCasino.com. Let's Chumba.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know Skechers makes high-performance footwear for almost every sport you play? Here's what our athletes are saying.
Hi, I'm pro basketball player OG Anunoby. I dominate in Skechers basketball. Skechers delivers championship-level performance.
I'm WNBA star Jackie Young. Skechers keeps me quick, comfortable, and ready for anything.
And you can get high-performance Skechers and hands-free slip-ins technology. Just step in and perform.
I'm pro golfer Matt Fitzpatrick. I play in hands-free Skechers golf slip-ins.
Find yours at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or whatever high-performance sports shoes are sold.
This is the Game of the Week report, brought to you by Hyundai.
Tennis's final event of the year is set to take center stage in Flushing Meadows, New York. Starting Sunday, August 30th, the world's top tennis stars will battle it out with 2 weeks of high-stakes action on the hard courts, culminating at the championship matches September 12th and 13th.
The Game of the Week report is brought to you by the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. Learn how it's so much more than just another SUV at HyundaiUSA.com.
Oh, hey, Sarah. Did you hear my daughter Katie got Camper of the Week?
That's a big deal.
We got a big deal too, right, Mom?
Honey, shh.
What's that?
Okay, that Hyundai Santa Fe, I only paid.
Nice.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or 1.9% APR for 72 months on the Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Plug-in Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid. During the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Offers end September 8th. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Rob Sight Ford, KC's Ford volume leader and top rated on Google. 135th and State Line. Rob Sight Ford, your 2025 Ford volume leader. Top rated on Google with 4.8 stars and 3,000 plus reviews. The best selection, best prices, and Kansas City's best customer service. Visit Rob Sight Ford at 135th and State Line. Buy right, save big, and drive home a winner. Only at Rob Sight Ford.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
All right, back here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon producing the show. Coming up in about 25 minutes, we're expected to head out to Arrowhead and hear from Andy Reid right here on your home for the Chiefs, 96.5 The Fan. But let's go out to the Golden Oak Lending phone line and welcome in Josh Vernier, our Royals insider. He's got his on-deck show at 5 o'clock tonight as the Royals continue their series against the Blue Jays. First pitch, 6:07. And Vern, 9 in a row for the Royals, going for 10 in a row tonight. I'm assuming your post-game shows are a little more fun right now. I understand the standings still are not really worth taking a look at, but what's the vibe right now from post-game for you guys?
Yeah, certainly excited for the fans, right? The believers out there, the dreamers out there. But for me, it's been somewhat difficult because I kind of have to play it right down the middle because, as I said last night, man, I would love to run through the sprinkler with the rest of you. But eventually, the bully's going to show up, and I'm going to have to start calling balls and strikes again. I'm going to have to call it down the middle and tell you what I'm seeing in this 9-game winning streak. I think the best way to summarize my feelings on this stretch is tonight the Royals are trying to win a 10th straight game, and they have Randy Dobnak on the hill. I mean, that sentence alone is just so incredibly mind-blowing. To think that we would be sitting here talking about Randy Dobnak in the rotation and the team, winners of 9 straight, to think that that was ever possible 2 months ago. It's laughable. Now, there are reasons for excitement. I think first and foremost, Vinny looking like the undeniable Vinny Pasquantino, the guy that we've all fallen in baseball love with over the past few seasons. I think that and the bullpen, what you're seeing from Nate Pearson, Connor Thomas, and Steven Cruz, to me, those are the real takeaways from this stretch.
I guess when you look at it now, it seems so negative around a 9-win team, but it makes me mad, Vern, because it's
no
just
doubt.
because
No
I
doubt.
just
I
go,
get that.
I count 5 to 6 games this year easy that weren't just like regular losses where I'm just replaying history. No, like you were up 3-0 and you gave it with 2 outs and 2 strikes and you gave up a grand slam. They got 5 games that felt like that this year, and this win streak could have like had them near or in a playoff spot. So I find myself mad at the earlier part of the season during the win streak.
I find myself mad in the moment, like at the players in the moment at times when I hear them talk about, we're just going out there carefree, we're not feeling any pressure. It also, at times when I hear that, it robs me of my enjoyment of the winning streak because this season is lost. We know that. But there's hope for 2027. But when they say things like, man, we're just playing carefree now, we don't have the pressure, it kind of hurts my hope for 2027 because game one, whenever game one is, I would like to think there's going to be a lot of pressure on this team, on Vinny, on Michael, on Noah Cameron, on Nate Pearson, on all of these guys that we're loving on right now. There's going to be an immense amount of pressure come opening day next season. And raise your hand if you feel like they're going to be able to handle that pressure.
Yeah, I mean, not yet, right? Obviously not at the moment because there's no
Bob
reason.
Included. Put them all in there.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to leave him out. No, put them all in there.
They got to prove it at least up until this
Kaggs
point.
and Carter are the two right now that I'm like, oh, okay. No, I believe you guys will be able to handle it because you seem to handle it all right as rookies, and especially Kaggs struggling out of the gate, he battled through it. So those two I'm cool with, but the guys that you were banking on this year, man, the questions are even larger going into next season.
I do want to ask about Carter Jensen. Do you think so? Like over the last 2 months, so beginning of July, now most of August, he's hitting 165 with a sub 277 on base percentage and a lot less pop. Do you think that this is a case of most catchers don't play this much and still hit well? Salvador Perez is a lifetime anomaly, and they got to figure out a way to get him less behind the dish. Just he's a very young player. He's going through a cold stretch. How do you view Carter Jensen's recent performance?
23. It's first full big league season. That's how I'm chalking it up. Because you still dive into the numbers for Carter Jensen's season, his age 23 season, it has been a tremendous win. Listen to this. When Carter Jensen starts behind the dish, the Royals are 40-33. They're 7 games above 500 when Carter Jensen's their starting catcher. They're 22 games below 500 when he's not back there. That is quite the ringing endorsement for a 23-year-old backstop who, by the way, when catching, has an OPS of 775. There's only 4 catchers in Major League Baseball that can match that OPS with the amount of plate appearances that Jensen has garnered this season. So to do that when you're still 10 months away from your 24th birthday, and it doesn't seem as if he's tiring defensively. Offensively, I'll chalk a lot of that up to a guy just being worn down, but the fact that he's still guiding this pitching staff, as a pitching staff that's performing as well as it has in months, no, I'm more encouraged with Carter as every day goes by, to be quite honest with you.
We're talking to Josh Vernier, our Royals insider here. When you look at the American League Central, not so much even just this year and where it stacks up. We talked earlier in the year, I think, about the White Sox and their quick turnaround, and their manager is going to probably win Manager of the Year, and they might end up winning this division. Seeing how the last month or so of this season has played out to this point in time and looking ahead a bit, how do you feel about the Royals standing beyond this year in this division, though? Just where everybody's kind of headed, that the Tigers compared to the Royals, with the White Sox compared to the Royals, et cetera.
Well, to me, it's just about pitching. Can the Royals rebuild the pitching staff in time for 2027? You're going to have to part with one of those top prospects or somebody, of course, in this lineup that you love. But Cleveland's not going anywhere because of their ability to draft pitching and then ultimately develop that pitching. So there's just no reason to think that Cleveland's going to be anything other than the Guardians team we've watched for the past 5 to 7 years. Chicago has so much young talent, and they are in Chicago. You would like to think that they will throw some money at some starting pitching over the next few seasons to go along with that trio, quartet of outstanding young rookie hitters that they have. So, Antonacci, Murakami, Tristan Peters to go along with Miguel Vargas. Boy, if that foursome can stay healthy, those are guys that just play the game the right way, execute at a high level. If you can keep the pitching consistent in Chicago, I would like to think they have a nice three-year stretch. Detroit, yeah, who knows what's going on with Detroit? The Framber Valdez signing this offseason never made sense to me. I know they were trying to replace Tarek Skubal, but Framber Valdez to me showed himself to be a loser last season, and Detroit dumped way too much money into him. So I don't know what they're doing. They should be spending more, just like the White Sox should be spending more. And then the Minnesota Twins, to me, too many injuries to that pitching staff to bank on them next year with Ryan and Pablo Lopez. So, to your point, yeah, there's no reason to think the Royals can't get right back into the mix next season, but it all comes back to pitching, and Cleveland's always going to have the leg up. So Cleveland, the front runner, of course, going into next year.
Any of these random bullpen arms that they're essentially just running out new names for that stand out to you? Guys you think deserve a good look for next year?
Yeah, Nate Pearson, number one. He has, in my opinion, closer stuff. I think he also has a closer's heartbeat, even more so than Steven Cruz. Pearson, since joining the Royals, 13 2/3 innings, an opponent's batting average of $149. So he's number one. Steven Cruz, we're, of course, interested in. We all know Daniel Lynch fits in there somewhere. Connor Thomas, I'm willing to watch. 4 scoreless innings into his Royals career, a 28-year-old lefty. Why not? I mean, what else are we doing here with these final 29 games? Other than those three, Alex Lang, I think, can help you get through 162. He's not a high leverage guy, but he could be your 7th or 8th arm in that bullpen. He's relatively cheap, so I'm still interested in Alex Lang. Randy Dobnak starting tonight. Could he be a long guy? Could he be a member of, if not your bullpen, a member of your Omaha rotation next season? Yes, certainly. But true excitement, guys that I think you could give the ball to down the stretch in a playoff race. Right now, it's just Nate Pearson and Steven Cruz.
Josh Vernier, our Royals insider, his On Deck show tonight at 5 o'clock right here on 96.5. The Fan as the Royals go for their 10th straight win. Appreciate it, man. Enjoy the game tonight.
All right, thank you very much.
That's Josh Vernier on the Golden Oak Lending phone line. And the Royals with Dobnak tonight. He's right, though. It's where it's like, man, if going for your 10th win and Randy Dobnak is pitched well, but he's on the mound tonight. I just think about that scenario. It is bizarre. It is bizarre, especially if he's the guy on the mound when they get their 10th win.
Yeah, it doesn't. Randy Dobnak was not even anywhere close to the radar at the beginning of the year. And if things gone well, would have never been on the radar. He has pitched well, you're right. But going for 10 in a row with him on the mound, that's what makes it feel like kind of hollow. It's like, if this 9-game winning streak, hopefully 10 tonight, had turned into them being 2 games back in the playoff race, I'd be like, okay. But there's still 8 back and, 15 games under 500 or whatever, Like it just makes it hard to get too excited about it.
Random question.
For you, Gold. For you, Drew. Text line 913-586-7965. Of course, over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook, where we live stream the show every day. You can like and subscribe on YouTube and Twitch. Pop to the top of your feed. No reason to ever miss any part of the show. You said earlier in the show that we should give people an opportunity to mention the things that they had done that were inappropriate as kids, in the sense that you saw that I had posted a photo of my son in a Kelly's shirt on his first day of school. Do you remember any particular time that you went, like, I guess in this life, what is the most dressed wrong for the occasion you think you've been in your life?
Ooh.
So it could be school where you're in the wrong, someone said they always got in trouble for those, do you guys remember the Big Johnson shirts or whatever and all these others? Like, they were saying that kind of stuff. They're like, I've worn that and had to get in trouble at school. Drew doesn't probably even remember, No Fear. There was a run of really popular t-shirt brands of a variety. Do you remember No Fear t-shirts, Drew? No way.
Well,
No.
for example, I
do not.
In the Ozark, there's a restaurant.
Yeah.
slash, like, I think it's called that. Yeah. Big bleep. You know, I'm not going to say it on the air. Halfway in. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not sure if you said that. Nobody's
if you
saying
wore that to a business meeting.
Yeah, that. And again, I think there's a difference between you had your son in a shirt of a bar with
The second oldest building in Kansas City.
Yeah, not an inappropriate name. So that's and you didn't have your son wearing a Coors Light shirt. I definitely saw it, and a few people texted us after the show yesterday and were saying, hey, "How did you not bring this up?" And I was like, it crossed my mind when I saw the shirt, but we didn't say anything. And then today you're wearing a Kelly's Westport Inn hat. And so I was like, let's bring it up today. And here we are for the random question of the day. People were texting a ton earlier about some of the shirts that they wore as a kid, maybe that were at the time not a big deal, but now would be completely off limits. There was one person
I remember they said they wore a Budweiser King of Beers tank top to weightlifting class.
That's funny. Somebody said they wore a Spuds McKenzie Budweiser shirt to first grade. I told you I took a Marlboro duffel bag one time to baseball practice because I couldn't find my bat bag. So
you just grabbed a bag, yeah.
It was a bag that was regularly used in the house. Those things were made of like indestructible material. I'm convinced they wanted that thing to survive a nuclear holocaust or something. I mean, they built those things to last. I will say. Somebody says in fourth grade Little League football.
No way. I don't believe
There's
this.
No chance.
Wait, what?
I don't believe this.
Someone says in fourth grade Little League football. It's so specific. I almost have to believe it, don't I?
No,
yes.
I
believe it.
It's so
no
weirdly
chance.
specific.
They said, in fourth grade Little League football, they had a kid show up to practice with a I love, how do I say this one on the air?
I think you just have to say it.
No. I love, this is not the exact verbiage. Little people porn is what the text is saying.
There's had the derogatory term for
No, there is. That is a lie. There is no chance.
Someone says they wore a shirt that said the same brand I'd mentioned before in the T-shirt thing. It said poker, like Poker, in the rear was on the shirt. Because a lot of those are bad. Somebody said they wore their Blink-182 album T-shirt that said take off your pants and jacket. I just mentioned that album.
Well, we were talking about that because of Justin Fields
yeah.
not knowing who Blink-182
yeah, Blink-182 was. Oh, roughly. Someone says 2001 middle school friend wore the I go to school for the Nookie shirt.
Yo.
Oh, Limp Bizkit.
All right, that newborn son shirt is ridiculous.
Oh, no. That's a real shirt? I don't like that at all. Not even a little bit. Someone said they wore a Whiskey Tango shirt when they were in middle school. There were plenty of because I think, especially when I grew up, it just wasn't, I don't think parents thought that hard about it most of the time. Or at least the parents of the kids I was growing. Maybe it was like the neighborhood I was in or whatever. I don't know. Like people mentioned like the Joe Cool shirts. I'm like, those cigarette ads, they were trying to get kids to buy them for that reason. Joe Cool exists to try to get kids to like cigarettes. So it's like not surprising that we actually wore the gear outside of it. I did wear maybe it was a friend of mine. We went to like one of those shows, and he for a long time wore like a marijuana necklace, but he'd wear it inside his shirt most of the time. It was just some stupid thing he picked up at like some random, like airplane show or something. He just thought it was funny. So my brother-in-law wore a Got Crab shirt from Joe's Crab Shack to his fourth grade school pictures.
Joe's Crab Shack.
Great.
There was
You ever been overdressed in a spot where you're like, I've gone to a couple weddings where I didn't realize it was as casual, and I was like, oh man, I am
not a wedding.
Too far.
Not a wedding. I'm trying to think if another circumstance though.
There were some restaurants that were they didn't. I don't think this person had to like change their shirt essentially, but there was a restaurant in Indianapolis called Dick's Last Resort, and they gave out T-shirts. And
they have those restaurants all over,
yeah.
Oh, really? Do they?
They have them in Vegas. They got them in Dallas. They got them,
they
From the
give out
660, I wore brown slacks and a button-up T-shirt to my sister-in-law's formal black tie wedding. I have never been more embarrassed. Like, it is tough. Like, being in dress clothes, but not black tie dress clothes amongst people dressed that way, uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Drew, you don't have any spot? You didn't have any? Your parents dressed you right?
Yeah. I never had anything like that growing up. It was like sports teams related, or just like regular shirts. Like it wasn't anything that I didn't have many graphic tees, I guess, if you will.
Just a lot of like regular, just sports apparel for the most part.
It was sports apparel, or it was just like a regular like plaid, black shirt, white shirt, Hollister stuff, American Eagle stuff. Yeah.
Someone says they went, same thing. They went to a function, business casual, threw on a polo and slacks, walk into a room full of people in suits. I end up overdressing sometimes for those things because I always feel like I could shed a jacket to make it slightly more casual, Gold. But I can't dress something up if it's not appropriate in nature, I guess, is the problem. But either way, that's your random question of the day. Just wanted to know. Someone says the most obscene Drew things ever worn is Bengals.
Yep, pretty much.
Somebody says you bought a pot leaf necklace at an airplane show. Yeah, man, they got all kinds of stuff at that. My best friend growing up, his name was Chad. His dad was a former TWA mechanic. So like he had his entire garage was just like a workshop for like model airplanes, like ones that ran on like gas and stuff.
That's cool.
And so that's how like I learned to like fix anything. My dad isn't handy at all, or at least wasn't at that time. And so he didn't, like my parents didn't fix much, but I'd go over there and we'd have full access to like all the tools one could ever imagine. And they had all kinds of random stalls and stuff set up for these like essentially like niche conventions or
TWA. That's throwback.
Yeah.
That's throwback big time.
I mean, that's how old I am, I guess. I think he was laid off. I think when they like closed up.
Somebody on the text line saying I wore FUBU jerseys to school. I did not.
I could see Drew wearing those.
I had a friend who wore a lot of FUBU. I had a friend who wore Sean John. I don't know if you guys remember that. Sean John.
Yeah.
I had a friend who wore Sean John all the time.
Drew, if I ever find a photo of you in a FUBU shirt, it's not for you or by you.
Shout out to Frank Grimes.
I would have. It would not shock me though if you told me there was a photo of Drew wearing a FUBU jersey.
I rocked some Fila for a while. I really liked all the Fila gear for a bit.
Fila definitely, yeah.
That had a bit of a run in
back before Champion got expensive. Champion was.
Yeah, that changed all this. Yeah, that was not a big, and that's in the last like 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, it wasn't big at all, and then it went away. Yeah, and then it came back, and it was like super. It's like $40 for a T-shirt.
Yeah, now it's popular.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is weird how that worked. Out of nowhere, that brand just blew up.
I did not wear my Hooters shirt to anything that was not appropriate. In fact, it's not my Hooters shirt anymore. Somebody bought it. And then
that person that bought it claimed they were that person that bought the Hooters outfit that Drew wore in the Cody and Gold garage sale claimed they were buying it for I think their wife.
Yes. They've stated multiple times that.
Are you still married? You said you were going to ask your wife to wear it.
At the time, he said she has a good sense of humor about that.
Okay, just let us know. Are you still married, please?
She better have a great sense of humor about that kind of thing. This might be one of those ones you thought you were going to get away with, and maybe not so much.
That is the random question of the day. All right, up next, we're expected to hear from Andy Reid, get a final update on Friday's preseason game, who is not going to play, and we'll take a look at teams expected to regress and some that are expected to be much better here in 2026.
This is Cody and Gold on Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5. The Fan. Cody and Gold is brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Get up to 0% on select 2026 Subaru models for up to 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City. 0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru. The Subaru A Lot to Love event.
VIN number 4S4SLD L61T3038472, based on 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderson Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Go to bagkc.com.
The wait is over. Football is here. DraftKings is on, and this September, DraftKings is giving all customers the opportunity to get boosted every game day. That's right, every game day all month long. DraftKings customers can get a profit boost, plus get extra protection with early exit. If you opt in and your player leaves the game with an eligible injury in the first half, your bet is protected. New DraftKings customers can sign up with the code 965 and spend just $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code 965. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 in non-withdrawable bonus bets issued every 7 days via click to claim for 21 days. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. 1 football boost per customer. Maximum bet limits and restrictions apply. Tokens expire at the end of the final select game each day when offered. Terms at dkng.com/offer. Limited time offer.
At the 40, the 30, 20, 10, he's going to take it to the house. Whether you're buying a home, a car, or making another major life purchase, Main Street Credit Union helps you reach your financial goals with cashback, high yield, and student spend accounts, and certified financial counseling. Real people, real progress. Join us at mainstreetcu.org.
When your joints hurt every single day and you've been told you need surgery, it can feel like there's only one option left. But please, do your homework. Remember, once a joint is replaced, there's no going back. Hey, it's Bob Fesco. Before you schedule that surgery, consider getting a second opinion from QC Kinetics. Whether you're dealing with the pain of bone-on-bone arthritis, a torn meniscus, or just years of wear and tear, surgery isn't the only conversation you should have. Talk to QC Kinetics about how they use regenerative treatments to deliver real relief to patients right here in Kansas City. They concentrate tiny healing tools from within your own body, targeting the exact spot that's causing the pain. The whole idea is to give you a real shot at holding off surgery, or in some cases, avoiding it altogether. So get your free consultation at QC Kinetics now, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Located at 435 in State Line and in Gladstone, 816-412-6299.
Flu season is here. Get your flu shot today at your local Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment is necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. That's right, a 20-cent fuel saver. Get your flu shot when it's convenient for you. Schedule online or just stop by your Hy-Vee pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Help your family stay healthy. Get your flu shot and get a 20-cent fuel saver only at Hy-Vee. See store for details. Some restrictions apply.
School's back in session and we're all busy now, and that's why it's hard to get to the grocery store. But you could get your groceries delivered in as little as 30 minutes. That's why I love Hy-Vee's new Get It Faster service. When you're crunched for time and need something fast, Hy-Vee to the rescue. Just download the Hy-Vee app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping for me. Choose the Get It Faster option, and your groceries will be ready in a snap. Try it for yourself. Get It Faster delivery or pickup only at Hy-Vee.
Telly Tire and Auto Center's biggest sale of the year is back. The tires at cost sale. That's right. You pay what we pay, plus mounting and balancing for only $30 per tire. Reserve yours at TELLEtire.com. Take care of your car. Take it to Telly. Additional charges apply for tire disposal and road hazard warranty.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Just take one bite. You're going to love it. Hey, my name is Ezekiel, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A. And the little thing I love about the new Chick-fil-A chicken and waffles is that I can enjoy it all day. It's the perfect combination of sweet and savory. The chicken, it was juicy, crispy, and all around it tasted amazing. The waffle is fluffy, and the syrup makes it 10 times better. You can have it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Chicken and waffles is definitely the way to go.
Order chicken and waffles at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant. Menu switches from breakfast to lunch at 10:30 a.m. Real team member paid for their testimonial.
It's time to get everything you need for the job from one partner. No more juggling vendors. We've got your entire job supply covered. Supply the entire job with job lot quantities of everything you need, from flooring to roofing, with access to thousands of products not available in stores. More products mean more colors, sizes, and finishes, so you can get exactly what you need to get the job done. Learn more at the Pro Desk, the Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
Listen to the Royals and Guardians over on the AM 610 this Friday with Vern's pregame starting at 5 and first pitch just after 6 on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
1 o'clock hour here on a Wednesday. We are awaiting Andy Reid's media availability. Not missing anything yet. As soon as he steps up to the microphone, we will go out there. We'll hear from Coach Reid, find out for sure confirmation on who's not playing tomorrow night, or Friday night. We all expect to get confirmation that Patrick Mahomes will not be playing. Also see where practice status is for a few guys that have been banged up so far. During this week. We know Trey Smith's been back at practice. We know Josh Simmons has not been practicing. I think too much was made of Kenneth Walker in the foot sprain. He's fine. He's fine.
From all the reporting, he's fine. But I mean, in fairness, the original reporting on Simmons from Matt Verderame was that he was fine, and it's been, I guess sometimes I have a different, I have a different definition of fine.
You're saying when they say fine, you're expecting them back at practice the next day is what you mean. I just think it goes back to this time of the year, they're willing to let a player sit for a week, whereas if there was a game, they may not. Because there's no reason to rush Josh Simmons back yet. I think there's just a difference.
He's far, far, far too important for them. This is why, and I'd be curious to see what he says, but, I wouldn't play anybody.
Earlier in the show, we were talking about some players that could be due for a contract at the end of the year, right? We had Shamari Condor on the list, Rashee Rice, and we got into the whole thing about Rashee Rice, and I said, I wouldn't extend him. Look, you may disagree with that take, but this top text is is a completely glossing over what happened way of looking at his circumstances. Someone says, you guys need to chill on Rashee Rice. He was speeding and smoked some weed. It's not like he was toting a gun in a club or anything. Saying it was just speeding is a complete mischaracterization of what happened in Dallas. Plain and simple. He caused a car accident that left individuals, they claim, harmed physically for the rest of their life. Fortunately, nobody was killed. Just saying, you're acting like he was just going 15 over and then smoked a joint. That's not what happened. I also don't care about the weed part of the probation. It was just more about, hey, he was an idiot and violated his probation. I don't care that he smoked weed. But saying he was just speeding as if that's all it was is a complete mischaracterization
he wasn't going 79 and a 70. He was going 130 miles an hour.
He also caused an accident. He wasn't just speeding. So.
And then left the scene of the accident.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to rehash the whole event, but I think it's just absurd to act like we're being crazy about why we wouldn't maybe want to give an extension to Rashee Rice as if we're only saying that about somebody that was speeding. That's not what happened. Yeah. Come on.
It's just... I think some of it, though, also just speaks to a pattern of knucklehead behavior, is what I would call it, He is constantly doing stupid stuff. Maybe they're not all maybe they're not the biggest crime in the world to you, but as a list of dumb things all put together, and those tend to be the kind of players I don't want to pay, worrying that they will continue to do stupid things that cost them games. I would also say it's different than in the case of people mentioned like Tyreek. Tyreek did a lot of stupid stuff over the course of it. Tyreek has never once been suspended by the NFL. Rashee has done enough stuff to find himself suspended. So, he's already, and he got lucky, I think, to not get suspended this most recent time after going to jail for 30 days. I think he got a little lucky that the NFL's like, we don't really care about the thing that you got suspended for, and this is not a new punishment. You could have always spent these 30 days, so we'll just let you off on it. But, because of that, he had to go to jail for 30 days. He's been suspended by the NFL. All of those things, just not a good sign on that. So we'll see what happens with it. But this preseason game, I wouldn't play anybody almost. It might be the Chris Oladokin show for me. I'm out of I wouldn't keep playing Cyrus Allen, Rashee Rice. I
play Garrett Nussmeier. I'd play Garrett Nussmeier for at least 3 quarters if I could.
Yeah, at this point, I'm probably not even risking Justin Fields. Although it appears half the people in the station think that Justin Fields should be the backup instead of... Or Nussmeier should be the backup instead of Fields.
Let's talk more about that in a bit, but Andy Reid is at the podium right now.
As far as any injuries go, the guys that won't play, most likely, are Cochran, Chamari, Ashton, C.J. Hansen, Jimmy Holiday, Oladukin still in concussion protocol, And I might as well address that while the young kid's going to go. Nuss is going to go. He'll start the game. Those two are going to split the game. It has nothing to do with just this was all in advance, so don't make anything of that. Simmons is out with he'll be out with the back, and then Smith, Tyreek Smith, and then we'll just see. The last couple days, Ken Walker, his shoe has been caused some swelling on his ankle there, so we're trying to get that down. But he's okay. He's gonna be fine. But we're trying to just get that out of there. Other than that, everybody's potentially available there. We'll just see how it goes in the next couple of days. Again, listen, we look forward to finishing up here and getting this third game under our belt so we can get some experience at some spots and at the same time tune up with some of the ones as we go forward. So, but that's where we're at right now. So with that, time's yours.
You got the intended look at Garrett these past 2 days. I guess when did you maybe learn about him?
Yeah, he's done a nice job. We threw him right in the fire there with the first group. So I thought he handled it well. He wasn't, it wasn't a big shock to him. He looked like he stepped in and took it on and had good leadership and tempo in and out of the huddle, those things. So it was positive, I think. I'll pay off for him down the road. It's a good thing.
What's your message to your younger players, the guys at the bottom of the roster?
Yeah, keep improving, right? Just keep improving every week, every practice, every week. They're evaluated every day, and every play every day, and we talk about them as a staff, and so we just want to see continual progress going forward, and have that attitude, positive attitude, doing it. And sometimes you get down on yourself, and then you go the other way. So we don't want that. That's not where we're at with it. How do you handle all that?
Andy, where do you feel like Josh Simmons is at right now?
Yeah, just getting his back checked out. So I mean, that's the main thing. He was doing good when he was in there. He's got the back. So like any other injury, I mean, we got to make sure see if it's right or what's wrong with it.
How has Trey gotten back in the groove, getting back out there doing some things? Is he feeling good?
Yeah, I think now listen, I didn't talk to him after this practice, but he did everything, and he's looked good the last few days, and I think he feels good. Yeah.
Is there any further update on Gelati's foot, exactly what his protocol will be moving forward on that?
And so he's off that little scooter, and he has a boot on, and they're just taking it from there. We'll see how it times out for him.
You guys traded for an interior lineman, Josh Azudo. What did you like about it?
Yeah, actually, Andy Heck knows him because of his sons. One played with him and one coached him. So he's a big kid that has got good feet. He's smart. He can add either a starting position or depth, and he plays either guard or tackle. So we'll just see how he does when he gets here and gets into the system. So.
Andy, circumstances are different with Patrick this offseason, but you've not had a preseason where he's not played in a game. Just wonder kind of how you evaluated and weighed those options.
Well, listen, he's looked good during the practices and doing the stuff. This week he was a scout team quarterback and pretty good scout team quarterback. But he's looked good. He's looked strong, and obviously his attitude's right. So.
You've had a couple of wide receivers like Xavier and Rasheed who haven't played in the game. Would you like to see those guys?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to evaluate it here in the next couple of days, but they've worked their tail off this week and taken a lot of reps, and that's been good for them. So we'll just see as we get closer to the game here, where we're at.
Just clarifying, I understood. Chris is going to be out. He was going to split time with Garrett. Now will Garrett play the entire game, or?
There's a chance. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Justin, I told him just keep it loose there, But if not, then Garrett, I'm sure they all would love to play a full game, and now he has a chance, so potentially.
And Andy, along the lines of offensive line, bringing in some depth pieces,
Just how overall throughout the course of this training camp, did you see the depth of the offensive line, knowing that Khalil had to step up there as well with Jalen, but behind that, what did you see about that depth of that?
Yeah, so I've seen improvement there, and we've been kind of moving guys around and fitting them in, especially at the tackle position, whether it's Benson going in a guard or back to right tackle and then over to left tackle. So those are valuable reps for him, and he'll be over there at left tackle this week, and just see how he does with it. But I like the way the young guys have progressed. I think Caliendo, who's been here now, he's probably not considered a young guy anymore, but he's had a good camp, and so that's a positive too in there. Yeah.
Would you say you're just still evaluating the right tackle at this stage and making that decision down the line?
I think we feel comfortable with both guys. I mean, it's either one can go in, but they're both doing a decent job. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so that was Andy Reid. Couple things there. I think what stood out that was most concerning still is how he answered the question about Josh Simmons when he was asked, where are things at with Simmons? He's like, well, when he's out there, he looks great. Okay, well, yeah, we all acknowledge that. And then he said, we just got to figure out, what's going on with that back right now. That would imply that they haven't gotten a answer
that's
yet.
kind of concerning.
That would imply that they don't know for sure what's going on yet, as in it's not, you know what I mean? That's
the equivalent of Andy saying someone's on hospice. I mean, as little as he says normally.
And yeah, we are reading into the questions and the answers because we don't have any other information, and they clearly don't want to say anything more. It's not back spasms. It's clearly more serious than that. He would have just said back spasms. So what is it?
Look, going into the show, we talked about them signing a guy who's played left tackle and left guard. So it's not about Josh Simmons.
I don't think it is, but man, I don't like the way he answered the question about it.
I am less sure than I was 3 hours ago after that comment. That was the weirdest answer he gave in the entire 12-minute press conference. He dodged around it. He said, we just got to figure out what it is. What do you mean? He's been out for a week. What do you mean figure out what it is? Like figure out how to manage it, control it, get him back to a practice? Which of these things?
This is how he answered it.
Yeah, just getting his back checked out. So I mean, that's the main thing. I mean, he was doing good when he was in there. He's got the back. So, like any other injury, I mean, we got to make sure see if it's right or what's wrong with it.
We got to see if it's right or what's wrong with it. It's been over a week.
He was hurt.
Did they see he was going to see a specialist?
No, they haven't said that.
Or that was Trey.
That was Trey Smith. Yeah, and Trey's back at practice and appears to be fine. But as far as
Cody.
yeah, Cody, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was going to say he came out the practice field on August 18th. It's been 8 days. You don't know what's wrong with it?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Or are you just Andy speaking? You didn't realize sometimes the vaguity that you like to give on these things makes it worse because the way you say it makes it sound like Rick Burkhalter doesn't even know what's wrong with Josh Simmons. 8 days after he stopped going to practice, when you got nothing but time to figure it out.
To me, it sounds like they just wanted to see if it would, kind of like Drew Tranquill, would just heal itself.
But Tranquill, they said it was back spasms. They flat out said what it was.
Yeah, I just wonder if they just thought maybe it could heal itself or they'd have him do some treatment, but it hasn't. So now they maybe are going to send him to a specialist. They've been open about it before. I don't know why they wouldn't be with Josh Simmons if he needed to do that. Maybe because he's the left tackle and they don't want, based on last year, also his absence, something. They just want to avoid any conversation about his absence.
Remember, they did not, and I'm not saying that we know for sure if the severity. That's the whole point, is that they're very vague about it. But we found out Trey Smith went to a specialist after he already went to the specialist after they knew it was fine. So if they're trying to figure out, what's going on with Josh Simmons, I'm hoping that's just Andy trying not to give information so it almost made it sound worse than what it is. I'm hoping that's what it is, right? Yeah. That it's just Andy not wanting to answer the question much, so therefore he made it seem like it was way worse and it's actually well under control and they're figured out, not that they're still waiting to get an answer back from somebody.
Yes, we've openly joked about stuff like this in the show. I'm like, hey, Drew, what do you got going on? And it's like, I'm busy. And I'm like, busy with what? And you're like, stuff. And you're like, what the hell are you doing? We all just imagine you're up to like all kinds of insanity when there aren't answers to things. And this isn't just you. I've done this too on the show or whatever. But that's exactly it. When you say, we're just got to figure out what's wrong with it.
Isn't that
8 days after the injury? Yeah, I get a little worried.
To me, I think I mean, based on, I wonder if it's just different because it's Josh Simmons and all of what happened last year, and not saying that it's the same thing, obviously, but
They're protecting him again?
yeah, that thing, but also, and you guys had Nate on at camp, and Nate was like, anytime you hear a tackle with the back injury, like that, that's normally
Should
not
scare you.
good. So the fact that he has been out 8 days makes me think that they actually are a little bit concerned. Like they actually might not know what the deal is, and he might need to go see a specialist because the issue obviously is that it's that big of a deal that he hasn't been able to practice for 8 days. They thought it might heal up. It hasn't. And for the reason that Nate said, anytime you hear a back injury with a tackle, that's a problem. It feels like it's more than just, oh, I think he'll be okay, and it's all going to work out.
Yeah, I mean,
at
let's
this point.
remember, Matt Verderam had the initial report on the day the injury happened saying he's going to be fine. And look, I'm not really spoiling anybody's sources here. It's very obvious that source came from the Chiefs, okay? So that somebody with the Chiefs told Matt Verderam at the time, yeah, we think he's fine. Here we are. It's been 8 days. I'm hoping this is just Andy literally making it way more.
He was trying to be vague, and then it made it sound way worse.
And then the other stuff that he mentioned, he mentioned Kenneth Walker, said his shoe is what's causing the swelling. Okay. Sounds like a nothing burger if that's what it is. Get a new shoe. Get the swelling down.
I will say for
size
those
up or
yeah, what's going on?
I don't know.
By the way, the shoe's causing the swell. What else was going on? He wore the same shoe all training camp, did he not?
He did, but maybe eventually it switched.
It's weird, yeah.
It was weird.
Was it already swollen and then the foot caused it to swell more, or the shoe caused it to swell more? I don't know.
I saw, but like this stuff does matter at least a little bit. I saw a clip of J.J. Watt and Luke Kuechly, and they were looking back at some old highlight stuff or whatever, and there was a clip, and J.J. Watt in this photo is wearing a cleat. And he's like, and Luke Kuechly, J.J. Watt was wearing. Luke Kuechly was like, that's the best cleat the NFL ever made, and J.J. Watt was like, yes. He's like, I was on eBay for years looking for pairs just like it because it was the best one they ever made. He's like, they'd fall apart on me really quick because like the old glue and stuff. But he just constantly wanted that version of a cleat constantly. So maybe it is something small like that. I'm not
worried about. I think Walker's fine. It's just interesting that the shoe has caused the swelling. At one point we heard I thought it was like a mid-foot sprain or something.
Yeah.
Now it's ankle swelling. So it's just two different things we've heard.
I will say for those who want Garrett Nussmeier to be the backup quarterback, you're going to get a full view of his.
He might play the entire night.
It sounds like he's playing 4 quarters. You know how rare that is in a preseason game? Garrett Nussmeier might play 4 quarters on Friday.
Well, they don't have a choice because Oladokin is in concussion protocol. I mean, I guess they could play Fields, and he said it will have Fields keep his arm loose just in case. But there's no reason to play Fields, and obviously Mahomes is not playing. Yeah, good for Nussmeier. It's a good opportunity again. I mean, fans are already wanting him to be the number 2 quarterback to begin with. I just think Andy Reid loves the veteran. Next year, guys, Nussmeier absolutely number 2 quarterback. This year, I think he'll be the 3. They like Fields. Let's not forget they gave up a draft pick for Justin Fields.
Paying him decent
and then
money.
they can the Jets are but the Jets are eating most of it. You
Yeah.
know. But I think Nussmeier after Friday night, fans will be convinced that they should just cut Justin Fields. That's just not happening.
No, I mean, I guess I could be wrong. But again, I'd be very surprised. The Chiefs are paying Justin Fields $3 million of the money he's owed, which is not a ton. Obviously, the pick's probably more valuable than just a couple of million that he's making, at least on that end. I think it's just a wait-a-year thing. But I like the Garrett Nussmeier, who probably won't get another snap for the next 17 games of an NFL schedule unless things go horribly wrong.
And he looks good. He looks better than what they've had with Oladokin, no question. So that's
way better.
That's promising moving forward. He has looked better than Fields, but I also think some of that is, let's remember where we're at. Nussmeier's playing against guys in a lot of cases that aren't going to make rosters by the time he's been in these games.
I'm going to be curious. We got Nate Taylor on the show tomorrow. Normally he joins us on Tuesdays. Obviously this week that she's playing Friday, so things are at least a little bit different. Plus Alex and I will be in Vegas starting tomorrow for the Circa contest weekend.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. Someone wants to know if you and I are sitting next to each other on the plane. We've talked about this. We never usually do. We spend enough time together. We don't need to sit next to each other on a plane.
Sit next to each other 20 hours a week.
Yeah, Don't need to sit next to each other on a flight.
More than that, really, because we pre-show too. So no, and also this isn't an announced thing. When I sit next to my wife on the plane, I put headphones on.
Yeah, we don't want to talk.
Traveling isn't for like hashing all this stuff out. It's just about zoning out and getting to your destination.
Yeah.
It's not like, for me, this isn't like communal time to get to, no, this is put headphones on, zone out, get through the flight. I don't hate flying, but I'm just trying to get through this part. It's not like a thrill ride.
I'll have the AirPods on and maybe I'll watch something on Netflix. If not, I'll listen to some music and maybe I nod out for like 25 minutes and wake back up. It's that kind of thing.
You know what? I'll take suggestions on the text line 913-586-7965. Alex and I have a reservation tonight at the steakhouse in the basement of Circa called Barry's. What do you think I should get? Alex always gets a steak, which is fine.
It's
Makes
a
sense.
steakhouse, so I need a steak.
Definitely don't get what.
I've had.
Don't get
what'd you
Chipino.
What the heck did you get in the Super Bowl? What'd you get at the Super Bowl? We were at the steakhouse in Vegas, and you got something. You didn't get steak. You got.
We got
It's probably the same thing.
No. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that
I'll
was
see it on
Alex who got spaghetti meatballs at.
Not at a steakhouse, an Italian restaurant. I got spaghetti. Yes,
It
at an
was-
Italian restaurant.
I forget what.
Uh,
But
I forget
that
what it was
argument,
that you got.
Steakhouses serve seafood too. That's a really common
you
thing.
got
at
seafood?
steakhouse.
No, you got seafood. No,
I've gotten
Cody,
seafood.
Cody did not get seafood.
What was it? I
Seafood makes sense at a
There might have
steakhouse.
been, I don't
No, I got to find it on the menu.
Dang it.
I said Alex almost always gets steak. I varied up a little bit.
I got
mostly
steak,
because I'm
too.
trying
When
to
I
work
was
my
there,
way
I
through
got
the,
steak.
the menu. I don't remember, Drew. Who knows what I got?
It was enough to make where as soon as the waiter
was a
walked
comment.
away, we it was like, all right.
It wasn't.
interesting.
No, that's a side. The gnocchi or whatever's a side. What did It was. Yeah, it was.
I don't think it's on
something-
the
it was
menu
something.
anymore. Some sort of seafood dish I got the last time.
Yeah.
But look at the menu. Give me some suggestions. 913-586-7965.
You're asking people to pull up a menu of a nice restaurant to give you suggestions?
Yeah.
Just tell
I'm
Cody to
considering
get a damn
scallops.
steak.
Yeah, just
I'm
get a
considering
steak.
several steaks.
You're going to a
Get the
steakhouse.
filet
Get a steak.
or the
I've had the steak
strip.
there a bunch of times. It's very good.
Yeah, but there's more than one steak though. You gotta. There's options.
I think the only way option up is if I start getting like a $150 steak off the menu.
Well, there's the Wagyu. Yeah.
Should I be getting that? True.
That's what I'm getting.
Never had a $150. Well, no, I probably have somewhere in my life, but not often.
Someone says this is the time to eat out of a bowl with a spoon.
So that, to me, is that person in the car is still offensive.
Well, we know you rolled your window down.
I think it is worse, Cody, to have food with a spoon on a plane than it is.
Someone said brisket fried rice. That's at the Asian restaurant that we love.
I can't remember what it was.
That's
Cody,
8
but you-
East.
Cody,
Yeah.
just get a steak.
Somebody says just got back from Circa. Bartender told me to get the raviolis, the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls, which we've had, the lobster mac, which I've also had. I don't know. He's the ravioli. I don't think I've had.
Okay, so you're basically saying you've been to Vegas so many. You've been to this place
This isn't
so
even
many
a joke.
times.
I've had
You've
a
been to Vegas.
huge chunk of the menu now. Back me up, Gold. I've gotten different stuff every time we've gone. I got bone marrow, I think, the last time I went with Alex. He wouldn't even try it.
You did. Yep. That is true.
Well, out of all that, pick what you like. I don't know. It is funny that you're asking the text.
You got a 3.5 hour flight. Figure it out yourself on the damn menu. You know, is what the text line's trying to tell you.
Someone says you're going to be sitting next to a guy eating a burrito. You
That
wouldn't
did
even be
happen
hungry.
on that one flight. I
was
legit.
the way
I want to
it is.
know
Just get
this.
some Colorado lamb chops.
Drew knows this. Drew knows
They got lamb
this.
chops?
They
Yeah,
do.
it says
It's
right
on
here.
the menu. Yeah.
And it says Colorado. It's your place.
Okay.
I am on a 4 flight in a row streak of getting stopped at TSA. That needs to end today. It needs to end today.
You're going to have to let us know tomorrow.
I'll let Drew knows because I brought this up after Punta Cana as well. And I have pre-check and everything. But no, I have gotten the random screen 4 straight flights.
You're a marked man at this
This is
point for this.
ridiculous. Not today, please. Not today.
I have never been stopped by TSA. I've also
Never?
never had a flight canceled. My entire life, I've never had a flight
don't
canceled.
jinx us
and
on
I've
that.
Never, and I've never been stopped by
Oh,
TSA.
you just
I
jinxed
had that happen on
Really?
vacation.
Oh, you did have a flight canceled.
Well, it wasn't canceled. I had 2 flights delayed, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to. That
You
was
had
a
a flight
fun,
delayed.
That was a
I
fun
mean, you know,
situation.
that's- you can't avoid
Canceled.
that if you try.
I've had that happen twice ever. True cancellation.
I remember one was back from Vegas when you were flying Spirit.
Yep,
Shocker,
they don't exist anymore. Yeah,
That's right.
That terrible airline. Yeah.
Cody, the Colorado lamb chops, Parmesan, pine nut crust, rosemary, red wine sauce.
Okay.
Someone said, are we going to check out any of the places that Chiefs players suggested? Oh, we had, was that Shamari Connor? Who was it that we had
Whoever
on?
played at UNLV. Maybe that was Connor.
Shamari Connor was Virginia Tech.
Jaden Hicks?
No, Virginia Tech, or he was Washington State. Jaden Hicks was. I mean, they might have, either of them could have played at UNLV and transferred
He
in.
did
I
not
don't know.
play for UNLV. Oh my gosh, who the heck was that?
Who was it? Noel Williams.
Noel Williams.
Noel
He gave us some
Williams. That was the one.
suggestions. Yes.
Maybe. Pull him up. Pull him up. We stay on the Circa property a lot, you know.
But you just jinxed the travel. Someone's right for tomorrow. Well, tonight. We fly tonight. Now,
fly
Cody's on a different flight back than I am.
Yeah.
Cody's flying back Saturday. I'm flying
if
back
I got
Sunday
my flight
morning.
canceled Saturday, it wouldn't affect Alex at all.
Cody, in honor of utensil food, you should have the colossal lump crab salad.
See, that sounds like a lot. What do you think the lobster tail market price is? It says market price. What do you think that runs?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't eat seafood really. I eat salmon and that's about it. They do have salmon on the menu, but I'm not getting that. I'm at a steakhouse. I'm getting a steak.
But if you go a second time, you getting steak again?
Probably. I'll get a different cut.
You could get the Gold couldn't have this though.
Why?
I was going to say because I was going to say you could you could split the chilled shellfish platter.
Oh,
it's $199.
You're trying to kill me?
That's why I said you couldn't have it.
Drew wants to do the show with me.
Yeah, you're trying to. I won't make it back home.
No, that's why I said Gold couldn't have it.
I'll be struggling to breathe in the restaurant.
I made sure to preface by saying that you can have it.
All right.
Up next.
Some people making real suggestions on the text line. I appreciate you.
And yes, text line, yes. Cody still has not gone to a Vegas strip club. That is correct. We're not going on this trip. Don't worry.
Not enough time on this trip, sorry.
But in 5 weeks, Cody's promised he is going.
Promising that.
Up next, we'll get to what's trending. Let's talk more about some regression candidates in the NFL.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Man, that was the insurance company again.
What'd they say?
They want another statement, more paperwork. They're telling me what my car's worth. Now they want all my medical records.
Dude, why are you dealing with all that?
Call the Car Crash Kings.
One call and they deal with the insurance company for you. The calls, the paperwork, the negotiations. You just focus on getting better.
Hurt in a car wreck? Don't do it yourself. Call the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely from advertisements.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out.
Leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Back to school season is here, and Dollar General has everything you need to start the school year strong. Don't forget to grab a pair of bright yellow sunglasses from the Yellow Glasses Project for just $2. Every purchase makes a difference, with 100% of proceeds helping support teachers, classrooms, and nonprofit organizations working to improve reading and literacy skills across the country. Stop by Dollar General today and shine bright with the Yellow Glasses Project, available now at Dollar General. The Yellow Glasses Project is a program of the Dollar General Literacy Foundation.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age. making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Royals coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
At Metal by the Foot, we pride ourselves on delivering the highest quality metal to meet your exact needs. Located in Casey and Topeka, online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number one on what's trending, the Royals looking to make it 10 wins in a row tonight against the Toronto Blue Jays. 6:07 first pitch, Vern's on Deck show at 5 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. The Royals are the first American League team since the 1989 White Sox to win 8 or more games in a row after entering the streak at least 24 games below 500.
Did that White Sox team make the playoffs?
No. They lost 90-plus games. But they also went through their streak in like early July, not late August, which would make it, I guess, even more likely they would have made it, I guess, but they just weren't a very good baseball team. Royals are still going to finish with 90 losses, aren't they?
Probably right around there.
Yeah, 72 and 90 maybe, at least on there. Next up on What's Trending, we know Patrick Mahomes will not play on Friday. Andy Reid had said Garrett Nussmeier could play the entire game. Justin Fields will say Louis just instead. The original plan was that Nussmeier and Oladokin would share a half each, but because he's in the concussion protocol, that likely won't happen. He said Ken Walker was having issues because of his shoe and hopefully could return to practice soon. The Josh Simmons one was the most concerning, in which he said they're trying to figure out what's wrong. That was kind of the vague way he put it. We were still trying to decide, is that just Andy Reid being vague because they don't like to tell you about injuries, or of real concern? Of course, the Chiefs signed an offensive lineman who played both left guard and left tackle in about 400 snaps each over the last 2 years.
Some other injury news in the NFL. Ruben Bain, top pick for the Bucs, dealing with an AC joint injury, although he is still expected to play week 1 of the season when Tampa plays Cincinnati. Some other news in the NFL. Kevin Stefanski telling reporters that Michael Penix Jr. won't play in their preseason final. They said, hey, 3 practices is too soon. But he did say Penix has put himself in position to still win the starting quarterback job with his play. He, of course, is competing with Tua. I find that, I don't know how both can be true. I guess they can. He's not practiced enough to play the preseason finale.
But you've seen enough out of the barely practice he's done to start?
I think Tua's starting week 1.
I do too, but that would make Michael Penix or Tua a very good candidate for the first bench candidate.
Absolutely.
Just knowing that Penix behind him right there. Next up on What's Trending, first year ever for the NFL. Top says debut patches like those of Major League Baseball are coming to NFL uniforms beginning this season. If you don't know how that works in baseball, they just put like a patch on the jersey that says NFL debut. They then pull that off for a one-of-one card in the future for any player who's making their debut. Been really popular in Major League Baseball and has turned into like these big chase cards for the hobby, and now it's heading towards the NFL.
Yeah, it's very cool. I'm excited about that. Next up, the NFL, I know you're excited for this too, will continue its strict enforcement of taunting rules. They are reminding teams sportsmanship-related rules, including taunting, illegal celebrations, and fighting, will remain a point of emphasis for officials this season. Thank goodness. Thank goodness, guys. I mean,
the kids.
I don't think we can watch the NFL. What would parents do when their kid watches and someone celebrates after a play?
There's a level to it, but
of course.
Also, if somebody, wants to pull a Chad Ochocinco and use the pylon as a putter or something like that, then let the guy go have fun.
I agree. I don't understand why we
let them dunk on the goalposts.
Yeah,
maybe you don't want them doing the Randy Moss, fake mooning everybody. I understand that. That's a little different, you know.
And I guess it's like in soccer, they had to make things because people were saying stuff they couldn't, so you couldn't like cover your mouth anymore. But still, just let people taunt. It doesn't matter. Lastly, on What's Trending, sad news in the entertainment world once again. The third time in the last week, Tim Curry passing away at the age of 80. Best known for his roles as Pennywise in It, or in Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I remember from Home Alone 2 is the butler or whatever.
Remember him as the
Mr. McAllister.
the concierge.
The concierge, yeah.
In Home Alone 2. He's obviously done a million different roles for a bunch of different TV and movie shows. Passed away at the age of 80. That's Hayden Panettiere last week, Dolly Parton yesterday, and now Tim Curry. Very sad.
Yeah, been a sad week. That is what's trending here on Cody and Gold. People now saying, let them stand over players as well. Yeah, there's certain things that I understand could cause problems, but in general, the celebrations.
In all honesty, though, if you
want to point your finger at someone, who cares?
Yeah, if you Ed Reed somebody, if you Bob Sanders clean somebody out on a hit, I think you have not necessarily stand over him, but you have the right to flex your muscles a little bit or something or say something.
I think
to
I should be
him.
allowed to flex over them and be like, bitch. Just look.
You should be able to
say whatever.
You should be able to trash talk a little bit or flex a little.
There's some obvious common sense things that we all recognize. You don't want them sacking someone and then just flipping the bird. Okay, could you imagine?
And I thought it was smart that they got rid of the gun celebrations.
Could you imagine if someone gets a sack and he just looks down at him and gives him a middle finger? I mean, it would be hilarious, but I get that.
Like some NFL blitz.
The throat slash, the gun celebrations. I get that we got rid of those.
But could you imagine if he just flipped somebody off after sacking them?
That'd be funny as hell.
Wouldn't you just have to laugh at the person that, if you're a quarterback and you got sacked and then Max Crosby's standing over you and he just flips you off, you almost have to start laughing.
It'd be pretty funny. My kids, because they don't cuss or anything like that, we were talking about the other day, I was having to explain the middle finger a little bit. He's like, what does it mean? And I was like, all right, so
you can use the example that you even gave. Here's how you use it.
So I said it means, I just told him.
You gave examples of cuss words for your kids?
I just told him he wanted to know why you can't give someone the middle finger, why that is a bad thing.
Okay.
And so I explained to him why it was. And then, not kidding, a day later, I was at the lake with my family, and my sister-in-law, after I made a crude joke, gave me the middle finger. And he was like, hey, I thought you're not supposed to do that. I was like, talk to her. She's the one breaking the rules. I'm just out here minding my business.
So you disobeyed your own. So you disobeyed your own.
I didn't.
Cody was being a smart ass.
I was being a smart ass, and she flipped me the bird.
No. I'm not talking about you giving the bird to that driver. You technically.
He wasn't in the car. And also, rules apply differently. And I've taught my kids this.
To adults.
Adults have different rules than kids. They've asked why before, but it's life.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
For good reason.
Only people I flip off are those eating cereal while they drive and cutting people off in traffic.
Yeah, if you missed that story, Cody got so angry the other day, he rolled his window down entirely to flip somebody off. Not just flipped it, he had to roll the window down. That's a whole nother level.
I needed them to see it.
All right, let's talk about some regression candidates in the NFL. Bill Barnwell over at ESPN was going through regression candidates. Also, some teams that could progress their fate this year. Well, I think we agreed on a few of these teams. There's a few, though, that I'm surprised made the list. So the teams that were listed for regression were Carolina, Chicago, Denver, Jacksonville, New England. Chicago, I don't get. I understand that they're in a tough division. They were 11-6. What regression? We think they're just not a playoff team anymore?
I think it has
don't
to be
buy
at least
it.
9 to be a good regression candidate.
I don't think the Bears are regressing. Maybe they don't win the NFC North, but that's going to be a brutal division. But 11 wins, if you think that they're a 10 or 11 win team still, that's not really regressing all that much. And yeah, they were 7-4 in games decided by 7 points or fewer. They got a couple breaks. They should have lost to the Raiders last year, but Daniel Carlson's field goal was blocked late in the game on a 50-yarder. That stuff like that went their way, although that's a play they were able to make. Ben Johnson's relying on Luther Burden and Rome Odunze more this year. So there's some elements that have you maybe concerned, but I don't think they're a regression candidate. I do think Denver is, just in terms of they won 14 games. They could fall back to a 10-win team this year. But I told you next week we'll do our futures predictions. Right now I'm leaning towards picking the Broncos to win the West, but they're not getting anywhere near 14 wins. They were 9-2 in games decided by 7 points or fewer as well.
They're on the list. I think Jags are number one for me. And this is going to come off as just my standard Trevor Lawrence hate. It's not. It's not that. They do still have some weapons around them. They've got some wide receivers and some things that should work, I think, offensively. But Trevor Lawrence coming off a career year, I don't think that there's some hidden level above that. So, and career year for him was still I don't want to overplay it. His career year was still not he put up some ungodly stats that set him apart into the upper echelon of quarterbacks. He had 4,000 yards, technically not a career high in passing yards, and 29 touchdowns, which was a career high, but by 4. 25 and 8 was his previous high, and he had 4,100 yards a year. He was just as good when he was 23 in a season as he was in 26. It was a career year because he looked more in control. Worse completion percentage-wise, slightly less yards, few more touchdowns, more interceptions. So not way different. Wasn't like they were better because the defense was better. Liam Cohen's better at winning. The schedule's harder. I think the division's not difficult by any means, but their schedule is just more difficult in general. They were really lucky, I thought, with injuries last season for a majority of it. I think they're the number one regression candidate maybe in the NFL. And they also won 13 games. So regression for them could be down to 10 and still a playoff team, but significantly worse than they were last year, I guess.
Yeah, I still like the Jags quite a bit. Next week I'll probably be picking them to win the South when we do that.
Them and the Texans, I think, are the only real choices.
Look, I think Tennessee could be better, but I don't see them jumping up to an 11-win team or something like that. I think you're probably right. The Jags could end up not winning 13 again, kind of how I said the Broncos aren't going to win 14. But I think the Jags are still winning that division, and that division maybe 10 gets you it. I think it's 11. The Texans are, of course, the big question mark, more so to me than Jacksonville. Like I feel like Liam Cohen showed us, though, that he can continue to develop that offense more. My concern with them is just that their defense as a whole, are they going to be as opportunistic? Remember, that was a stat we had when the Chiefs were going into that game where, of course, Kansas City lost. But
of course, Devin Lloyd
pick
was
6.
Opportunistic.
But that was the whole story, like how many turnovers they had forced heading into that game. I don't know. Is that going to continue for them? That was a huch part of their formula last year.
And like anytime, and I have to look back over their ratio, turnover
what
differential.
Did they finish at? I don't know.
But that was always the thing about like the Bears too, is that some of it just felt like they had the horseshoe last year, right? And so I don't know that ever happens really 2 years in a row. I think the Bears avoiding regression is just down to one very simple thing, which is Caleb Williams going to get better? Chicago, by the way, led the NFL in that 22 plus 22. In the differential. Jacksonville was plus 13, third best in the NFL. Texans plus 17. But with some of those, it's like, well, the Texans, I know how they created some of theirs. They got one of the meanest defensive lines in the NFL. Jags were just good everywhere on defense last year, so maybe they could still repeat it. Chicago, kind of good and deep at late. But 22, they're not going to be plus 22 this year. It was 5 better than anyone else in the league. And 9 better than the third best team. I think that's probably part of the reason this stat. And that's why people look for regression in that regard, because that seems like an obvious candidate. Kansas City, by the way, was -1, pretty much dead even.
Patriots were on this list for them for regression. Again, don't think they're winning 14 games, but I still think they're winning that division. I think they are still clearly better than everybody else. I don't think anybody in the AFC is getting to 14. I just don't. But to me, the Patriots going out and fixing the O-line didn't really happen. That's my only concern. They're just banking on coaching and being healthy. They didn't really do much to attack the O-line. That would be like if you told me they did regress and they were suddenly from 14 to 10 or 9, I would say, wow, the O-line must have been a disaster. Because I'm not worried about Drake May just because he didn't have a good postseason. I think we saw that their wide receiver room, it's even though Stephon Diggs is not there, it's serviceable.
And A.J. Brown, they got...
It's serviceable after him, though. It is not just A.J. Brown. I actually
Kyle
think
Williams is
the fact
solid.
that they were willing to trade what's his name, Kayshon Boutte to the Texans.
He was a 500-yard guy for them last year.
So I think they got plenty of weapons there in New England. Their backfield I really like.
Travion and
Stevenson. Stevenson will probably still be the main guy early on in the year.
But
is Hunter Henry still there at tight end?
That one I just don't understand. Am I like?
I think it's the Josh Allen thing.
There's a lot. I think the Patriots are just good.
I think it's the Josh Allen thing.
Patriots are really good.
They think that Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL, and that's why everybody's surely the Bills will be back to winning the division because it's Josh Allen. I think that's the biggest proponent of why people think the Bills will be back on top and win that division again over the Patriots.
I think I can make a fairly, easy argument for the New England Patriots being the best team in the AFC.
They could. The part people will point to immediately will be the schedule last year, and like, hey, okay, they look good because their schedule.
They're still in their
easy.
division, so they get 2 of those layups, don't they?
Yeah, between Miami and the Jets, so they have 4 of those.
I will give you this though, Cody. If I was going through, and I'm sure there are odds we can find, the team most likely to have the best record in the AFC, as you're saying, they would probably be the favorite. The Broncos are going to have a tough time doing that in the AFC West, even if you think they're going to be good, and I do. The AFC South, I don't think the Jags are going to have the best record. They got 13 last year, but I think that's a better South division, at least with the Titans, than it was a year ago. And the AFC North, I think we all would agree, that's a brutal division still. I don't think anybody's getting to 14 wins in that division this year. So, yeah, the Patriots probably are most likely, if you're to your point, Cody, of having the best record in the AFC. I don't know if we will say they're the best team. We get into that argument all the time. It's like, yes, because of schedule, you can be a 13-win team. I still might like the 11-win team better to win the Super Bowl.
Last year was a really prime example of that, probably.
The only team that I think that could maybe, if C.J. Stroud figures it out again, maybe Houston. Just because that defense is so good. I mean, they might be able to get to 13
Wide
or
receivers
be the 1 seed.
Rough.
Because I don't.
For where?
Houston.
Yeah, Xavier
Hutchinson,
Hutchinson, Nico Collins, and Keyshawn Booty. And yes, that's his real name. Someone's like, wait, you guys are saying Booty? Yes, that's
his name.
Boutte, I think is how it's spelled.
The reason why, so they went 12-5 last year.
I know.
And I know that but the wide receiver room last year wasn't, they had 2 rookies who they were playing on a regular basis, and Noel and Higgins.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Mixon at running back wasn't the same. Like they lost him halfway through the year. C.J. Stroud was obviously a shell of himself. I just think that they might be able to back their way into.
Do you think Montgomery will be good for them as a running back?
Yeah, I like David Montgomery. They did win, by the way. They were 3-5 and won out the rest of the year. I forgot about that.
That's impressive.
Still got Nico Collins, obviously. Or do they not have Nico Collins?
Yeah, he's their number one.
I did find some current odds. You want to know New England right now?
For the number 1 seed?
To be the number 1 seed and have the top record in the conference, they are 5th.
Who's got better odds?
7-1.
Who's got better odds?
Baltimore is tied with Buffalo for plus 450.
Really?
I don't get it.
Baltimore's schedule's tough.
Cincinnati is 3rd at plus 650.
Easier schedule.
The easiest schedule in the NFL, according to Vegas win totals. Houston plus 700, tied with New England, so I guess tied for 4th.
I don't see Houston being the best record.
And Chiefs plus 800 with the Chargers and Broncos at plus 900.
Patriots feel like a good bet on that then at 7-1.
They sure do.
I mean,
I still think Houston could maybe back their way into it somehow.
Okay. If I did order of likelihood, I think I would go New England 1, probably Cincinnati 2, and then I'd start getting back into then it's a wash. It's Baltimore. I just don't think the Chiefs guys are getting to 13 wins this year. That's not me.
They're going to have to start 8-0 to do it.
I think. Yeah, I mean, I think in general, if you think they're winning the West, I think they got to start 5-1. If we're talking about the best record in the AFC, yeah, Drew, probably like 7-1, 8-0 type of stuff because of how difficult the back end is. And if you're saying, well, if they're 8-0, don't you just think that means they're going to be able to beat all those teams? I just think the schedule is very favorable in the first month and a half.
If they start 8-0, I would feel really good about them being the 1 seed because while it is easier, they would in that stretch play Denver twice, the Chargers, Seattle.
Yeah.
I think that, I mean, if they were for whatever reason 7-1 or 8-0, that means I would feel very confident about them being the 1 seed.
This is part of the odds are coming
that they can do it.
We've mentioned this stat before: strength of schedule based on Vegas win totals. Bengals have the 2nd easiest schedule in the NFL. Ravens have the 5th easiest schedule in the NFL. Patriots are 10th. Broncos 11th. Chiefs 12th. And then you get down to like some of these other teams, and you're like, well, I don't know. I'd be feeling all that good about Houston or some. Houston has the 22nd hardest based on Vegas win totals, or like the 8th hardest. Sorry, like one of the hardest schedules than that. So just hard to imagine. That's all.
It is interesting that the Ravens have that easy of a schedule. I mean, I know that they get. Like they have the Colts and the Titans, obviously, but they've got Dallas, they've got Buffalo on the road, they've got the Chargers, they've got at Houston.
Do you guys have the NFC South this year? That division?
Yes.
That's why. Figured it out. Does a single one of those teams have a double-digit win total in the NFC South?
From last year? No.
No, this year. There's a single one of them projected to win double-digit games.
I think New Orleans
projected.
I think New Orleans could find their way to double digits.
I like Atlanta to win that division. I know they got the quarterback question with
Atlanta.
but Atlanta's like next week when we do our futures, they'll probably be my pick.
New Orleans schedule.
Tampa's the favorite still. I'm very down on
Cody,
them.
where does New Orleans rank on the schedule?
For strength of schedule, 3rd easiest.
I was going to say they start out. This is their start out at Detroit, at Baltimore. Then it goes Raiders, Falcons, Vikings, Giants, Steelers, Browns, Panthers, Bears, Bengals, Packers. Then they end with Carolina, Tampa, Arizona, Atlanta, Tampa.
I mean, Jordan Tyson's going to miss those first 3 games at least.
That's tough for them. Plus, you
Kamara is banged up. Although I know they have Achane now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
not ETN, Achane. Right.
For the sake of this show, Travis Achane, because if we say
right?
Achane, people immediately
I have it
think
backwards.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Devon Achane is who you think of more.
In Miami, yeah. And thinking of running backs, he is just going to get the ball 40 times and they're going to run his ass into the ground this year.
I know
in
that,
Miami.
Cody, I don't know if you feel this way about Tyler Shuck. For some reason, I went from way off of Tyler Shough to be like, you know what? He actually might be able to pull this. He might be able to do this thing. He actually might be okay. I don't know if you're there, but he was not.
He was better than I was expecting.
Yeah, he was not egregiously bad. Plus, again, Tyson and Hammy is tough. But I mean, they got Olave there. They got Achane. I mean, I think he might be able to be okay because you pair him up with Kellen Moore.
But it feels like the ceiling is like a Jacoby Brissett.
Oh, yeah. They're winning the Super Bowl.
Jacoby Brissett, Tyrod is that what he ended up saying it was?
Tyrod, yeah.
Tyrod
really?
Taylor. There was like some point
when
he changed it.
Yeah, not Tyrod. It's
Tyrod Taylor's one of the best backups ever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what it
He's
feels like
been around for a
Chuck's
minute.
eventual career is.
All right.
Love
I mean,
if
he
was the
is already,
backup.
27 or whatever the heck it is?
That's part of the problem.
Yeah, he's already...
How much money do you think Tyrod or Tyrod Taylor is? He's the backup in Green Bay now.
How much do you think he's earning this year or has earned?
In his career.
$53 million.
15 years in the league. Keep that in mind. He obviously has never been, a clear-cut star for more than a year or so.
I want to say $61 million. That might be way too high.
Including this year's salary where he's making $6 million. He's making $2.9 million. He is getting paid by the Jets, I guess, still. Anyway, $82.6 million.
Good for him. That's awesome. Good for
Man,
him.
that was almost
He was a
half off.
sixth-round pick back in 2011, and he's made $82 million.
Good for him.
Hey, man, I'm impressed.
And a punctured lung along
That's
the way.
right. Yeah.
That was tough, man. He was going to
By
start
a
that
team
year.
doctor.
He was going to start ahead of Herbert.
That
at
was in
least for one game.
2019?
Yeah, that was Herbert's rookie year, or his 2020. Yeah.
2020, sorry, yeah, 2020. Man. The most money he ever made was 2018. The Browns paid him $16 million. Of course it was Cleveland. Of course.
Who else would it be?
And nowadays, $16 million for a starting quarterback is nothing.
Them are the Jets, which I believe he played for both of them.
Tyrod's played for the Ravens. That's where he started. The Bills, the Browns for a year, the Chargers for 2, the Texans for a year, the Giants for 2, the Jets for 2, and now Green Bay.
Can you remind me, and now that we've got like a minute or two left in the show, we played a clip on the show, Drew, before you were on here, of a guy who was suggesting that they trade away Lamar Jackson to start then backup. Do you remember his name? It
Huntley.
wasn't Tyrod, huh?
Tyler Huntley?
Probably.
Because they almost won that playoff game against the Bengals.
He was convinced
that they should move on from
that
Lamar
they should move
Jackson.
on from Lamar Jackson for Tyler
I don't think we
Huntley.
have that anymore.
Just a terrible.
That's so old. I doubt we have that cut.
Yeah, it was probably.
Is this it? Hold on. Oh, this says Tyree on Huntley. Any chance it's that?
No, it's No.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know.
Try it. I don't think it is.
He's special, man.
No, that's Tyreek Hill on Lamar Jackson.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here, I found it. Here it is. Here it is. August 24th, 2022. George Wrightster, who I think played in the league at one point, says sign Huntley, trade Lamar.
Letting Lamar Jackson hit the open market is absolutely stupidity. Because if he chooses to go somewhere else, I know you can franchise tag him, but that would be insanity. When what you can actually do is spend a measly $60 million to sign Tyler Huntley to a 3-year deal and then surround him with the best talent that money could buy. I know that you might think that this take is ridiculous, but don't blame me for having it. Blame the Baltimore Ravens front office or Deshaun Jackson's not to be repped by an agent for creating this situation, which takes the oxygen out of the room.